What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? This is Bolo TV. Welcome you guys again. Thank you for tuning in to Bolo TV. We're here to serve you. We're here to serve the community. We're here to be a better place. We're here to help each other. All right, first things first, let's talk about what we do here. We at Bolo TV, we believe in a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical wellness. So this is what we do. We're here to talk to each other. We're here to help one another and be that support system. So before we start, I'd like you to hear my man Saint, Concrete Rose, Apple Music, Google Play Music, Spotify. This is Testimony.
Yeah, this is my testimony. Yeah, this is my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made a king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. This is my testimony. Yeah, this is my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. I pray up to the stars, cause all these scars, they keep me humble. And I gotta get a bag for what we have, I make it tumble. Was a youngin' running around, was so hard-headed, stayed in trouble. Mama, now your son hot, check the pot, I'm starting to bubble. For the days I was stuck in the rain and I felt that pain, I make it double. On this track, I'm digging deep, so I'm complete like this my shovel. If you ain't thugging with me, you my enemy, I can't trust you. And if you cross that line, then bitch, you dying, I'm gon' bust you. And if you riding, then you dying, nigga, off the muscle. And I'm tired of mama crying, it's suicide, I'm tired of fussing. And I turned them to believers, thank you, Jesus, I came from nothing. And the niggas playing with demons, I done seen it for the money. When the folks off up that time and they talking, nah, nigga, is you right? When the ops fight down your block and make it hot, nigga, is you slide? You ain't never had no love for me, so nigga, why you lying? I done been through so much pain, I felt that hate, my soul be crying. I was raised up as a king, was taught to win, I claim what's mine. And I know that this my destiny, was made to lead my kind. And these people want the best of me, so I'm forever fight. Yeah, this my testimony. On me, yeah, this my testimony. You know, I was raised as a young king, and they never want to see us prevail. They always try to make me fold. But I done been through my trials and tribulations. And through it all, I stood tall and faced them head on. For any nigga out there that done been through what I done been through, stay solid. I just feel like I'm a prophet. I feel like God put me here for a reason. And all praise go to Yahweh.
What's going on, family? What is going on? So today we're going to be talking about mental illness. You know, that's what the channel is based on, mental illness. And bigger than anything, it's time to get help. It's not a normal thing, especially what we go through in the poverty-stricken areas in America. It is time for us to get help. It is time for us to actually learn and educate ourselves and understand that this is not a normal thing that we're going through. This is something that we need to get help. We need to understand so that we are better able to help ourselves and help the people that are around us. And that's what this is about. It's about helping each other and getting ourselves better, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So this is a woman named Dr. Anita Phillips. She's a psychiatrist, a therapist, and she does a little bit something different. She mixes science with spirituality, which I do believe they're both one and the same, but in our society, we try to separate the two. So we're just going to critique a little bit of what she's saying and go into what she's saying also. I'm supposed to be having a conversation also with someone that wanted to talk about women that coddle their sons. So I will put the link in the chat. And again, we're not limited to just her calling in or whatever. If anyone out there that's having issues with their life and they want to talk, you can come into the room and we'll have a conversation. We'll converse and we'll see how Bolo TV can help you and the people in the chat and this community, how we can help you. So let's get it started.
But we're not addressing what's breaking our heart. And Proverbs 15:13 says, by sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken. If it was the heart that broke it, should I not fix the heart? I may be able to get my spirit revived, but if my heart, which has the capacity to break it, is not dealt with, it will take multiple fractures.
So basically, what she is saying is both the spirit and the flesh work in tandem. They work together, right? You know the scripture, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So if your spirit is willing, for example, if your spirit is willing to run that 3 miles, but you haven't trained your flesh to do so, then your spirit is asking something of your flesh that it cannot do. So what we need to start doing is training our flesh so that our spirit and flesh, our spirit and our heart work together. A lot of times when you read the scriptures, when it talks about your heart, it's talking about your flesh, your mind. So we need to get these two things to work in tandem to the best that we can do in this day and age so that we can function, so that we're able to educate each other and deal with each other in love, in which Christ wanted us to deal with each other in.
So we get spiritually again and then again, because it is our sorrowful heart that's cutting us down. In this parable, Jesus is trying to make us aware of spiritual dangers and why we have to take care of our hearts. I'm going to read some emotions to you because some people, many of us, don't have the words to describe how we feel. If I asked you if you were sad, you might say no. But what if I asked you if you were suffering in any way? What if I asked you if you were disappointed? Anybody disappointed? That's a form of sadness. Shameful is a form of sadness. Neglected. Anybody feeling neglected? Despair, agony, hurt, depressed, sorrowful, dismayed, displeased, regretful. Anybody have any regrets? Regret is a form of sadness. Guilty, isolated, lonely, powerless, and grief. And grief. That's why we have to be so careful right now.
See, many of us in what we call the hood suffer from all of those things. And, not being able to talk to somebody about it, not being able to have a civil conversation with someone without us thinking that that person is weak. It in fact makes us weak because then we bottle it up. Then we don't want to talk about it. Scriptures tell you, forsake ye not the assembly of one another. There's a reason why Christ says that. Why? Because we were never meant to carry these burdens by ourselves. We were meant to have family because no one man, and when I say man, I mean woman also, no one man is an island. We all need each other. We all need each other. I can't stress that enough, that we need each other. We need that love. We need that earnest and honest truth to be spoken. See, it's hard to look in the mirror and say that you're unhappy with the person that you are when you are unhappy with the person you are. It's hard to say it. But we have to understand that once you realize that you are the problem, like my man Tommy says, you then have to become the solution. You have to become the solution. You have no choice. Because if you don't, you will continue on this road of destruction. So all of these symptoms or all of these words that she named, they all fall under one umbrella: sadness, grief. It's hard to work your way out of it when there's so much on this earth, so much evil on this earth. You look out your window and you see so much going on. How can you help yourself? How can you help your brother? How can you help your sister? One person at a time. But this here is more of an understanding of how the spirit is connected to the flesh. I know there's a lot of people out there that, may not believe in God or may not believe that there's a spiritual being or higher power out there. But we all have had hunches. Something that tells you don't go down that block. Something that tells you don't get in that train, on that train. Don't get into that car. And then later you find out something happened. That wasn't you. Couldn't have been you. That was that spiritual dimension that's all around us, that exists, that you do not want to understand or you do not want to acknowledge. But you better understand something. Whether you believe in God or the devil, they believe in you.
It's a form of sadness, and sadness steals the word. So if you are grieving or someone you love is grieving, don't run up on them and start sprinkling scriptures all over them. It's not always the time. Sometimes it's just the ministry of your presence. But the problem is you are so intolerant of their emotional pain that you're trying to fix them so you don't have to feel what they're feeling. And it's, again, what about me?
So let's unpack what she was saying. A lot of times when people, and this goes to those that are trying to heal, those of your family or those of your friends that you know that are going through something, right? So you know someone that's had a death in their family or anything that has affected them traumatically. A lot of the times when you go to talk to them, they may not want to hear the answer at that point. They may just want someone to hear what they have to say. They may just want someone to be there to hear them, just to be that shoulder. Not every time, you go to talk to somebody, you need to start spewing out what they've done wrong. There's a time and place for all of that. Because while they're hurt, while they're broken, while they are fractured, they're not going to receive your correction, your admonishment at that point. You have to get them to a certain level of understanding so that when you do start to admonish them, they receive it. Everything is supposed to be done with timing. So if you are going to be one of those people that want to help somebody, that want to help someone in your family, you have to understand timing. When you see that that person is broken, you need to understand that all they need is just your presence. All they need to know is that someone is there for them. that when you're ready, we'll talk. Right now, you ain't ready for that. Right now, I'm here to be that pillar to help stand you up. I'm here to be that foundation that you need because your house is weak until you're able to get strong again. So not all the time do you need to be that bearer of admonishment on that person. Not telling you you're not supposed to check people. You are supposed to check them. You have to be mindful of how you're checking a person, when you're checking a person. You have to be mindful of the person that you're checking. Are they in the right mind frame to be checked at this point? Do you need to aid them in other ways before you can check them? Before I tell you to get back up on that bike, we got to get your wounds healed. We have to, or you won't be able to get back on that bike. It's just common sense. Everything happens in steps, right? So we have to understand the person or the people that we're talking to that need healing. We have to be mindful of their mind state.
Sit with them. Let the water of your love sprinkle. When the ground is hard like that, you can't just dump water on it. It'll just run off. It has.
Exactly. When a person's heart is broken, it's hard for you to try and throw water and try to seed that ground. It's hard. It takes time. You have to till that ground. You have to fertilize that ground. And only then will God give the increase. Only then.
To be absorbed slowly and with patience. And if you're in that space right now and you can't feel God and you can't hear God and your sadness, whatever these forms it is profound, God is still with you, even though you don't feel like you're with him. I want to assure you that he has not left you. Although I understand that how we feel him is such a big part of how we experience him, I promise you, your depression is not a punishment, nor an indicator of his absence.
See, we have to understand that this battle that we're in is not a physical battle. It is, in fact, a spiritual battle, a mental battle. Because the one thing the enemy is going to want to do is make you feel that you're alone. The one thing the enemy is going to want to do is make you feel that you want to be alone. Let me say it again. He's going to want you to feel that you want to be alone. At that point, you know that's the enemy. Because then when you're alone and all communications have ceased with those people in your corner, those people that can support you, that love you, now he can do what he wants with you. Because there is no communication coming in. It's only you talking to yourself. And remember, you're the one that's hurt. You need healing. You need mending. And if you're not getting that from somebody, if you're not getting that mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical love from someone, and you're in it by yourself, he got you right where he wants you. And there is where things get real dismal. It gets worse for you. Why? Because you're not getting counsel. You're not receiving any understanding of the situation you're in, because when you're in the situation, you can't see outside of your situation because you're in it. The best view of the fight is from the audience's perspective, not yours. When you're in that ring, it's hard because you're getting knocked up. You're getting punched. So you got your guards up all the time. So you can't see that well. You can't see from all perspectives. But the audience, they see everything. So this is why we need not to be by ourselves, and forsake ye not the assembly of us. We need to get back to that village, not only raising children, but that village taking care of each other.
It's just your broken heart. He loves you. We love you. But when that sadness lasts for a long, long time, it can become chronic.
Now, I want you, family, to pay attention to this part, because this part is very important. This part is what's applicable to the Black and Hispanic community. This part right here is applicable more to us. So listen to this.
And when it's chronic, that's when we start talking about what secularly we call a mental health disorder or a mental illness. That's what major depressive disorder is: chronic sadness. There are other disorders that are similar, but we recognize the name depression the most. Some of you may have been struggling with depression for a long time. Well, Dr. Anita, how do I know? Well, 50% of mental health problems are visible by the age of 14. So if you think that you being down is just part of your personality, you're just not a cheery person, it's just kind of how you are. It's possible that you've been broken for a really long time and it has become a part of your identity and you've embraced it as who you are. But I'm here to tell you today, it doesn't have to be that way.
Now, the week before last, we spoke about that, right? We spoke about poverty and mental illness and the connection that they have. For those that are living in poverty, which is a lot of us, you're not broken, man. It's not supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to walk over a dead person's body. You're not supposed to see drugs so prevalently in your neighborhood. You're not supposed to hear about gun shooting, gun violence, gang violence. This is not normal at all. This is not normal. But because we don't have the education and because we don't have anyone to show you that it's different, because your eyes are not open to something different, you think that this is normal, which anyone would think. But it's not. It's far from normal. We went through the definition of what PTSD is. That our military, thank you for your service, they go across overseas and they see some devastating things that happen. And when they come back, they're not the same. They can't unsee what they saw. Now, the definition of it, we went through it. And what we need to understand is people in the hood go through PTSD from the day they're born. This is crazy. Let me read this to you. The condition may last, this is PTSD. The condition may last months or years with triggers that can bring back memories of trauma accompanied by intense emotional and physical reactions. Symptoms may include nightmares or unwanted memories of trauma, avoidance of situations that bring back memories of the trauma, heightened reactions, anxiety, or depressed mood. We go through this every day in the hood. So we need to make our councilmen, our senators, we need to let them know that they need to apply that terminology, PTSD, to our young men and young women in our areas that are low and impoverished, low income areas. It needs to be expanded to that. It isn't only applicable to those that go overseas. We need to acknowledge that in lower income areas, we see some crazy things, man, that become norm to us. And there's a lot of people out there that understand what I'm saying. We see a whole lot of stuff that regular people could not unsee and understand. But when you go to your doctor, you can't tell them you have PTSD. The first thing they're going to say is, did you go overseas to war? That's not what the definition of it is. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that's triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety. So whether you were in the situation or you saw it, that's the definition of what PTSD is.
It doesn't have to be that way. Just because you've learned to live with it doesn't mean you have to. Just because you can take it doesn't mean you have to. So if you feel down more days than you don't, if you feel down more hours a day than you don't, and it's been going on for a couple of months and 3 months and 5 years and 15 years, there is a better life.
There's a better life out there for you. And we at Bolo TV are here to say that you do not have to exist in that existence. You do not have to live in that mental anguish. You do not have to let your environment dictate who you are. So those of you that have those issues where you're thinking of taking your life, you're thinking about doing something stupid, there's a different way. You don't have to do it. Allow us to help you here. There's a different way. But you have to broaden your mind. You have to open yourself up to being rebuilt. Because this damage that we have, this damage that has been inflicted on us, it took years. It didn't happen overnight. It took years. So you need to be patient and understand that it's not going to be overnight where your situation is going to get solved. It's going to take time and patience, temperance, and understand that it's coming from love.
For you. And we want to help you with your heart, not just with your spirit. But I want to affirm you that the power of sadness is real. Real enough for it to be in this word, showing it's stealing seeds. Let's move on to stony ground. We see in verse 5, and some fell onto stony ground. There is an amazing parallel story to this plant, which we all have in our minds, how the plant springs up and is growing real tall, but then the sun comes out and burns it up and it goes down because of offense. I believe in Jonah chapter 4. Jonah is mad. Jonah wasn't running out of fear, by the way. He wasn't running from his calling because he was afraid. He was not. He was mad. He had an attitude. He did not want to tell Nineveh that they were going to be destroyed because he knew God was too loving to do it, and he didn't want to look bad. That is not being afraid of your calling. That's an attitude. Jonah had an attitude. But he came back to Nineveh because God was bigger and badder than his attitude. He was willing to go, but his heart had not really changed. And so he goes to Nineveh, gives the word, God doesn't kill the people, and he is mad. He goes and sits up on this mountain, and he's so angry. And what happens? A plant grows up. It springs up overnight. And a gourd and forms over his head to be shade. And then the hot sun comes out, and under the beating sun, the plant dies, and it beats Jonah on his head until he's ready to pass out. And he says, I'm so angry. And God said, are you do well to be angry unto death? He said, I'm so angry, I want to die. The stony ground plant is the plant in Jonah 4. It sprang up overnight.
You know, there are some people out there that get so angry that they do believe death is a better situation for them. How does death help anyone? It doesn't. Anger keeps you from understanding what your goal is. Anger keeps you rooted in that time and place where you were angered. So you can move on 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now. Mentally, you will still be back there 30 years ago, because that's where your anger was born. That's where your anger was it was created. And you had no chance of trying to overcome it because you didn't give yourself a chance to overcome it. We have to start to understand where our anger comes from. We have to start needing to deal with that anger. Don't push it away. Don't cast it aside. You're angry for a reason. Let's deal with why you're angry so that we can come to some type of figuring out what made you angry, who made you angry, so that you can grow and not be stunted in your growth and stuck in that place where you were angered.
But when the hot sun came out, Jonah became the plant that withered. There is no question for which this book does not have the answer. So anger is the danger of stony ground. And some of us are mad. Notice I said some of us, because I'm working on something right now.
Let me correct her. It ain't some of us. A whole lot of us are mad. There's a whole lot of us that feel that what they're going through, they don't deserve. There's a whole lot of us that don't want to acknowledge their part in the situation that they're in. There's a whole lot of us that just want to take the easy way out and not learn from what we have gone through. So it ain't some of us. The majority of us is mad.
Now, I know ain't none of y'all never been mad, but I tend to be good at mad. It's in my flesh. It's like I make it like high quality anger. It's like, is there a lifestyle brand for anger products? Because I have a high quality capacity.
At least she's honest about that.
I have to be careful because I get stony. And then if you are stony, you're trying to produce. Remember, this is your production space. But when we're angry, we can't always hear God properly with our heart. So he say, do this, but then you go do that, because you're going to figure out what you're going to do, because you got your brand ready and you got your plans and you're going to go to this city and set this up and set that up, but you haven't.
So what is she talking about? She's talking about not listening, man. Not taking your time, sitting down and hearing what the Lord got to say to you. You move too fast because you want to do things the way you want to do it. You have no rhyme or reason on why you're doing what you're doing. You have no sense of direction. And I had this conversation with someone. I got direction. He was saying to me. And I said, what direction do you want to go in? Well, I don't know, but I know I want to be here. I said, but that's the difference in what you're saying. You have a destination. You know that you want to get to be. Direction is how to get to be. Herein lies the problem. Herein lies the problem. You flying blind. You know you want to get to B, but you're flying blind. So all the issues of trying to get to B that you could have avoided, you're not going to avoid. You know why? You didn't want to hear. You didn't want to listen because you're angry and no one knows better than you at this point. Because you're angry, can't no one understand what you're going through. Because you're angry, you don't understand what I'm talking about, man. What about that person? But what about you? What part did you play in on this situation? That's when the Lord is talking to you. See, the one thing I realized when you read Genesis, right? You know, no one took the blame for eating the fruit. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the snake. The snake didn't have no one to blame. Till this day, no one took the blame. No one took the blame. No one felt earnest and honest enough to confess to the Father to say, I did it, so that they can be dealt with. Lord loves you. So you get punished. Life moves on. We love again. But it starts with you wanting to listen. Because when you're angry, you don't want to hear. That's one of the first things you don't want to do when you're angry. And I'm not telling you that I'm not subject to this. I am. We all are. When you're on the hot seat, you don't want to hear a word anyone got to say. I just need to make my point heard. I need to make sure everyone hears my point. But in you doing that, you're not hearing the point yourself. In you doing that, you're ignoring yourself. You're ignoring what's being told to you. And by the way, man, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Damn it. So you need to understand that when you're angry, you can't think. When you're angry, I was watching a movie, and I think it was called Shoot 'Em Up. And the good guy was killing all the bad guys' minions. And the right-hand man to the bad guy said, yo, why are you not mad? He says, I'm very upset. But see, there's a chemical that your body releases when you're angry, when you're happy, and it keeps you from thinking straight. And I need to think straight. That always sat with me. That when you get angry, it clearly keeps you from thinking rational. Because you want to move on impulse. You want to get this done. Slow down. Slow down, son. Let's figure this out. We don't have to run into the situation. Let's understand what's going on. Let's look at this situation panoramically so that the plan that we formulate will work. Let's not just run in there guns a-blazing. Let's not just do that. Too many of our men, too many of our women have done that. It doesn't work. And our children are suffering from it. By not thinking, we're having these children and raising them in homes that are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually and physically not in a good situation for the child. So we need to start pulling back and start thinking. Start understanding the steps that we take. It reverberates not only through our lives, but through the lives of the people that are around us. We need to start to understand that. It's like a ripple effect. You throw a rock in the water. See how far those ripples go out. So that young man or that young lady who's thinking that their lives are not important, that their life doesn't affect anyone, that they're inconsequential to anyone in this world, I'm here to tell you, you are so wrong. You don't understand that taking your life, how that will affect everyone around you. Those that you know about and those that you don't see. So before you do that, either give Bolo TV a chance or look for help. Talk to someone. I give out all this information at the end of the stream of who you need to talk to and who's open. And these people are open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Stop to say, if God will, I will do this or I will do that, because you got your attitude and you're going to get what's yours.
I got to get mine. You don't want to hear what's going on because you feel that you've been wronged. We've all been in that position. We've all been in that position. But see what the enemy does or do when you're in that position, it keeps you from seeing what part you played in it because you're so focused on looking at what that person did. And the growth that you're supposed to get, you miss out on it. The miracle you're supposed to get, you miss out on it. This whole time that we're on earth, it's about self-growth. And the experiences that you as a man or a woman have learned, you pass that on to those that are around you, to your loved ones, to your children. But you have to be self-aware. You have to be. You can't go in life just thinking that, what that person did was wrong, but I'm not going to worry about what my part was in it. It doesn't work that way. How do you grow? How do you learn? How do you live? Everything that we do, there's a reaction. To every action, there's a reaction to it. We have to realize that. You have to realize that. So whatever you say, you have to understand that there's a ripple effect, man. You have to understand that if I say F you, that person's going to react to that. And I can't get angry at how that person reacts to it. I can't wrong a person and then say, you can't react to the way I wronged you that way. I don't have the right. I do not have that right. Now, I may think it might be an overreaction, but then again, it wasn't said to me. We have to understand that if words are life, words are death. If words heal, they hurt. So we have to be conscious of what we say. If you have nothing good to say, how did the grandmothers and grandfathers say? If you have nothing good to say, then don't say a damn thing at all. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself. That's what this is about. This is about growing. This is about growth. It's going to get rough before it gets better. But you know what? We're here to go through that rough times with you. That's what family does.
And we're still mad at mama and daddy and sister and brother and cousin and friend. We have a whole angry cutoff culture going right now. And it's all about being angry. Everybody's mad. Cut them off, shut them down, pluck them out, throw them away. And everybody's angry.
Everyone is angry. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to create a channel and come on and speak to people and try and help them. I mean, I do it in my personal life, but I didn't want to do this over social media. You know why? Because it takes a lot to do it. But when I looked around YouTube and I looked around social media, I didn't see anything like this. I didn't see I watch, if there's 3 or 4 channels that give positive messages, there's 10 million that don't. 10 million. And I see all these black men and black women cursing each other out, talk like children, man. When you look out your damn window and see the plight of your people, and you see how we're being killed by each other, you see how we treat each other, you see that the love that we have for each other is at a 2 at best. But yet you can still get on these YouTube streets and talk nonsense when you have a platform to reach 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 6,000 people. You choose to spew hate, confusion, nonsense. This is what you choose to do. You're a part of the problem. In fact, you are the problem. But you know what? I knew when I embarked on this road that it isn't about the numbers. It isn't about that. If I help one person, then my job is done. This is about leaving this earth better than how I received it. That's what this is about. This is about love. This is about trying to create something for our children, because when we're gone, they're left. They're left. We need to love each other, man. We need to start being a village again. The way we were in the 60s, in the 50s, we were that village. What happened? What happened to us? That the first thing we're quick to do when we see black people fighting, we're quick to pull out our goddamn phones and record it, opposed to stopping it. What happened to us? That we're quicker to call World Star than 911. What happened to us? I missed that time. It breaks my heart that my children don't have the same foundation that I had as far as community. It breaks my heart that our community is shattered. It breaks my heart that we're quicker to help someone else than to help our own. But it comes from education, right? The lack of. Because when you're brought up in poverty, you start to think that this is the way life is supposed to be, when it's not. You don't have the education to know that the way I'm feeling is wrong. You don't have the wherewithal to say, damn, this is wrong. We don't have the financial means to go out there and get help, Because in our community, if we go and talk to a therapist, you're weak. You a punk. You a sucker. But if a cat go to jail, you get respect. I cram to understand that a woman in this day and age in our community looks at a drug dealer more respectful, looks at a gangbanger more respectful than she will look at a dude that work at McDonald's. We got a lot of work to do. And I myself was tired of seeing 2 or 3 people doing it themselves on YouTube. I was tired of it. My spirit didn't sit right with me. I needed to get involved. I wanted to get involved. Give me a minute, Saint. I'll open the lines up and yeah, we'll have a conversation since you want to have one. Let me finish this.
And it's being made okay. And then you turn around and try to be productive. The word says that anger will steal your productivity, your capacity to reach your dreams will be undermined by this. So the seed of destiny he has sown into you is not producing, not because the seed has a problem. The seed is incorruptible. I'm corruptible.
So what is she saying in that? The problem is whatever you're meant to do, it's there for you. Now you have to work to get to that destination. But if you're angry, your direction is going to be questioned. If you're angry, you're not going to understand the moves that you need to make to get to where you need to be. You're going to be tunnel visioned. And in this world, we can't be tunnel visioned because something will come from your peripheral and smack you right off your axis. Will smack you off your axis. So we need to not be angry. And I'm not saying that you're not going to be angered. We need to not walk in this world as an angry person. We need to learn to start forgiving. We need to start to learn loving. There's too much of it. Look at the anger that we have in our community and see if it's working for us. It's not.
And so anger. And anger's tough because we be right about some stuff. I ain't say you was wrong. I just said you was mad. And anger will wipe us out. There are very few disorders in the DSM. The DSM, that stands for the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It is the book produced by the American Psychiatric Association in which we list all of our mental disorders. There are 290.
Saint, click that link and follow the instructions. And when I'm done with this, we'll have our conversation.
7. So it's a big book. But there are very few that directly speak of anger, intermittent explosive disorder, but very few. But what is known is that in at least 32 of the major disorders, anger or irritability is a symptom. And so anger undermines our mental health in terrible ways. And anger undermines your body. Anger lowers your immune system's function. There are some physical disorders that are so.
Now, this is coming from a doctor. Since you men and women like to be angry and you operate in that atmosphere, this is what anger, the effects of what anger has on your body. This ain't something I'm making up. This ain't something that I just pulled it out of my behind. Everything is intertwined. Your mental, your spiritual, your physical, and emotional, they all connect.
Associated highly with anger, chronic headaches, digestion problems, particularly unexpressed anger, you've swallowed it, and now you're having digestion problems, literally. You don't have irritable bowel syndrome. You are angry. I'm gonna just toss that out there. And of course, there are legitimate cases of IBS. Don't email me. But many of us, emotional issues are disrupting our digestion. And because I'm big on telling on myself, I tell you, I remember several years back, I was sitting there watching TV and one of those commercials came on and all them symptoms, and I was like, that sounds like me. And you know what my response was? I didn't go to the doctor. You know what I did? I laced up some sneakers and I started running. And the system got better because it's one of the ways to process emotion out of your body. Anger can aggravate those conditions. And this is especially dangerous for our men because men are more likely to fight their way from depression.
So exactly what I'm saying on why this channel was created. Because the way anger, the way things affect us as men, from children, we're shot in the foot. From children, you're not supposed to hurt, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to feel. You're not supposed to feel none of these things because of anger. Anger. Anger keeps us as men from bonding. Anger keeps us as men from saying, hey, bro, I just want to call and say I love you, man. Anger keeps us from coming together as men and reaching back to these young OGs and tell them, or these young G's, and tell them, we're going to teach y'all how to be men. You know why? Because we so busy trying to stunt on ourselves. Stunt on each other, excuse me. Anger. Anger keeps you from loving. Anger. Anger keeps you from understanding. Anger is also stunts your growth because it keeps you living in the past of where you were angered on what I said earlier. Anger. It affects us men. This is why we're killing each other on a world time high. Because you stepped on my sneakers, or I didn't like the way you looked at me, or you said something wrong to me. This is why we'll jump on YouTube and say some asinine things. Because we don't want to converse and have conversations with logic and truth and understanding, most of all. We just want to say what we want to say, regardless of the point.
To anger, because depression is not a good look on a brother. That's how we say, that's what we think. And so while people will accept us as women kind of laying back and, oh, it was me, and they think there's something feminine about that, and it's not, it's still depression. But our cultural perspectives don't accept that from men. So depression can hide among women with social stereotypes about them being emotional, but it can't hide with men because it'll look weak. So he has to fight his way up off of that depressed couch. And the only energy he can use to defend himself against your attacks on his masculinity is to fight his way out of depression into a fury.
So he has to use anger to fight anger. That's the only thing we have, is to use anger to fight anger. Because you know what? I don't want my brother looking at me because I'm weak, even though I'm hurting right now. I need my brother to sit there and build me up. Be an ear, be a shoulder. Because I don't want to do this by myself. You shouldn't have to do this by yourself. But I can't talk to my brother because you know what? He's going to take my information that I gave him saying that I was weak, and he's going to spread it around the brotherhood, or he's going to take it and look at me a certain way, and it shouldn't be that way. If I can't talk to my brother, who can I talk to? If I can't come to my brother for advice, who can I go to?
And here we are, with our men dropping like flies, with life expectancies at the bottom levels in this country. Because anger is literally shredding their bodies and their immune systems and their productivity.
It seems that anytime we say it, it doesn't resonate. When someone else says it, it resonates. We are dying as men from the stress, from not being able to articulate how we feel, not being able to talk to someone. This is what this channel was created for someone to come on here without your face being seen. You could come on as Scooby-Doo or come on as whoever and speak to get that edge off, so that, you know what, when you go back into that ring to fight, you're able to fight. You're able to see things just a little bit clearer. Anger keeps us living in the past instead of living for the future. When we should learn from the past and live for the future. We should learn from the past and live for the future. We shouldn't live in the past. We have to move on from anger. We have to grow from anger.
Which is also so related to how many men define themselves. So if anger snatching both their productivity and their physical strength, God, we got to do something right away.
Because we're dying. We got to do something. So Saint asked me to debate or to have a conversation. I put the link in the chat room, and I'm still waiting for you to pop up in the chat room.
Stony ground. Stony ground. One more kind of ground. Thorny ground. Thorny ground. This is where the trees used to be. The trees used to be. Let's go, that is verse 7, 4:7, Mark 4:7. And some seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. So the tree is there. In this case, the ground managed to take the seed and start growing a fruit tree. But then, before the fruit could be mature, the thorns sprang up and choked it off. This is the soil of almost in your life. Almost. I almost didn't lose the house. I almost went back to school. I almost made that investment. Almost saved this marriage. Almost gets in because of fear. Now, Jesus is specific. He says that these thorns are the cares and anxieties of the world and the deceitfulness of riches, which is us trying to get these riches because we think that it's going to help us with something, approaching riches from a lack-based perspective. And anxiety, which is specifically states the thorns as anxiety, is a type of fear. Anxiety is a type of fear.
Fear is an issue. The devil uses your anger to encage you, to keep you under fear. What's that fear? Of looking in that mirror and saying, I am the problem. I am the reason why I'm here. He uses that anger for you to be angry at the whole earth. But the one person that you're not angry with is you. The one person that you're not angry with is the guy or the gal that you see in the mirror. That's what his job is. His job is to keep you from rectifying the issue. The issue is you. Before I can help somebody else pay their phone bill, I got to pay mine. That's the issue. I got to get myself right. And only when I get past that anger will I see what the issues are. Will I see what's clear? Because anger makes things foggy. You ever drive through that fog and it's so thick you can't see anything? That's what anger is. So it keeps you swinging at everybody because you can't see who's there to love you, who's there to help you, who's your enemy, because you're angry at everybody. Anger has no direction. It doesn't. And the one direction that anger should be pointed at in most situations is you. Scriptures tell you that there is no judgment higher than your own. So a lot of the decisions that we make that has put us in bad situations, whether it be financially, mentally, emotionally, it's because of you. The reason why you got a bad baby mama is because of you. The reason why you got a bad baby's daddy is because of you. You made that decision. The reason why you can't figure out what you need to do to get further in life is because of you, because you don't want to take the time to study what you need to study to make yourself a better man or a better woman. You don't want to be patient. The majority of the times, the person that holds us back is us. And we need to get past that.
When we are afraid, we start moving, but we move scared, but we getting it done. I got the seed in the ground. I'm fertilizing it. I'm doing it. I'm falling into bed at night with the shakes because
I see you, Des. I see you. I'm gonna bring you in. This is almost done.
It's scaring me so bad, but I'm out here. You know that whole be scared but do it anyway? No, I need you to address the fear, because if you be scared and do it anyway, the fear is going to catch up with you after a while and it's going to win. You cannot live in a state of fear from here to victory.
So let's understand that acronym FEAR. F-E-A-R. Fear, false, evidence appearing real. Fear stunts your growth also. Fear keeps you only doing just enough. Fear. We can't live in fear. If the Lord is for you, who could be against you? We don't operate in fear. Fight through it.
At some point, you're going to have to stop being scared. You can start scared, but baby, don't try to finish scared. I'm going to move in the meantime, but somewhere along the way, I'm going to get a thing in my spirit that says, devil, that's enough.
And that's what we need to understand. That we have to get to a point where we're so tired of being used, and that we're so tired of not understanding and running in this circle of life, that we got to sit there and say, you know what? I know what my destination is. I'm going to map out what my direction is going to be. That's what we got to start doing in life. All right. Dres, you dropped off. I was about to bring you on, so call back in, bro. So this is what we're trying to deal with. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to create. We're trying to create an environment that we don't operate in fear. We're trying to create an environment where I can call up my brother and say, yo, listen, man, this is the issue, whatever. And we converse and have a conversation. I'm bringing on my man, Des. Hey, Des James, what's going on?
Hey, Bolo TV. Nice to meet you. Can
How
you hear
doing,
me?
bro? I can hear you clearly.
I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me?
I don't know why I can't hear you.
You want to try and come back in? Because I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me, Des?
I'm going to go on mute.
No, I can hear you, man. I can hear exactly what you're saying. I just wanted to know what's going on. Talk to me.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to figure this out.
Do you have headphones? Des, why don't you try to hang up, call back in, and make sure that, you know, everything that you got is working. All right? Okay, he just called me back in. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can see that you're speaking, but I just can't hear you. I'll just go ahead and say what I have to say.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm Des James. I had just came on while the pastor was speaking on the seed being incorruptible and the seed not being corruptible and her being corruptible. How I interpreted that was her allowing the congregation, probably majority females, because when I go to church, I see nothing but single mothers. But I think she was talking to them by referring to herself. Because sometimes when we're sitting in an audience, we like to identify with the speaker. So that's how I took that.
Okay,
You
well,
know, I'm from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Drugs
okay.
is pretty much plaguing that community. You know, I got a cousin right now who's like strung out or whatnot. And, you know, I had just got out the military. So I caught myself trying to help in rehab and recover him by smoking with him, you know, which was the wrong answer at the time because I was enabling him. But I saw that, you know, everything was just going downhill. We were pawning everything, TVs, PlayStation 4s and all that. I said, enough is enough. I had to leave and do something else productive, like get into trucking just to go someplace else. Cause like I couldn't tell my family members, are y'all gonna allow this to happen? Cause they're regular church going members and we turned a blind eye to a lot of things. And, you know, we have a problem dealing with escapism. You know, we're always finding something to you're always finding something to escape, you know, whether it be drugs, alcohol, lust. I'm inclined to believe that there's a sex demon, you know, running rampant, you know, within the Black community, if there is a Black community. I mean, but that's all I wanted to say on that Bolo TV. I appreciate your channel. I just started watching YouTube a few years ago, and I appreciate you doing what you're doing. I like to see your channel grow. Peace, brother. Much love.
Thank you, bro.
I'm out.
Thank you. I would love to have a conversation with you if we could figure out what the issue was with the connection. But first things first, let me say thank you for your service in the military, right? Second thing, let me say this, is that she's not just talking about herself. When she's saying the incorruptible, she's talking about her spirit. Your spirit is incorruptible. It cannot be corrupted. What's corrupted is your flesh. This thing that we live in is what's corrupted. You dig what I'm saying? So we need to learn to master this to the best of our ability so that when our spirit asks something of us, that we are able to do the best that we can do to fulfill what it is asking of us. So she wasn't talking just specifically towards herself. Now, you are correct. Sometimes when people speak on themselves or they use themselves as an example, they do speak on themselves. But in that scripture, which she was quoting, she was talking about us as humans, us as people, period. That the incorruptible is your spirit. and your flesh is what's corrupted. And it's easy to live in the flesh. It's very easy to do that. So we need to try our best not to live in the flesh and try to understand what we need to do better. Try to understand how we can do better. So your spirit is so much intertwined with what your flesh is. They both work together, man. They both work together. And one thing that I've learned in this short 47 years of my life on this earth is when you go to the doctor, a lot of the times all they do is prescribe medicine for your symptoms. They don't prescribe medicine for the problem. And see, the thing that I like about this doctor, Anita Phillips, is she's connecting the two, the spirit and the flesh. She's connecting the two and saying that they both work hand in hand. They both do. So we have to understand that one can't function without the other. It doesn't work that way. So what she's doing is not only prescribing something for the flesh, she's prescribing something for the spirit also. And that's what we need to start doing. So when you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, I got a headache, what does he do? He gives you some damn medicine for the headache. A lot of the times, they don't ask you, well, what's causing the headache? Or what have you done? Or what's this or what's that? They don't run tests until it gets very serious. Then they run their tests. But a lot of the times they only treat the symptoms, and that's our problem. We have to stop treating the symptoms. So I was supposed to have Saint come up. He wanted to talk. So we're going to wait a second. If anything, what I'm going to do is I'll play a song by Saint. And hopefully in the meantime, while we're waiting for him to come on, while the song is playing, he'll come on.
Yeah, this my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made a king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. This my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. I pray up to the stars, cause all these scars, they keep me humble. And I gotta get a bag for what we have, I make it tumble. Was a youngin' running around, was so hard-headed, stayed in trouble. Mama, now your son hot, check the pot, I'm starting to bubble. For the days I was stuck in the rain and I felt that pain, I make it double. On this track, I'm digging deep, so you I'm complete like this my shovel. If you ain't thugging with me, you my enemy, I can't trust you. And if you cross that line and bitch, you dying, I'm gon' bust you. And if you riding, then you dying, nigga, off the muscle. And I'm tired of mama crying, it's suicide, I'm tired of fussing. And I turned them to believers, thank you Jesus, I came from nothing. And the niggas playing with demons, I done seen it for the money. When the folks off up that time and they talking, nah nigga, is you right? When the ops fight down your block and make it hot, nigga, is you slide? You ain't never had no love for me, so nigga, why you lying? I done been through so much pain, I felt that hate, my soul be crying. I was raised up as a king, was taught to win, I claim what's mine. And I know that this my destiny, was made to lead my kind. And these people want the best of me, so I'm forever fight. Yeah, this my testimony. On me. Yeah, this my testimony. You know, I was raised as a young king. And they never want to see us prevail. They always try to make me fold. But I done been through my trials and tribulations. And through it all, I stood tall and faced them head on. For any nigga out there that done been through what I done been through, stay solid. I just feel like I'm a prophet. I feel like God put me here for a reason. And all praise go to Yahweh.
That was Saint. You can cop his album, Concrete Rose, Apple Music, Google Play Music, Spotify. Saint's in the building. We're gonna bring him on. That was Saint. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, Bolo?
I'm good. Talk to me. You said you wanted to debate or have a conversation. Talk to me. What you want your conversation to be about?
Initially it was on the statement that you had made about gangbangers and drug dealers.
What's that?
What I was saying was, because I know that you talk on your channel a lot about moving forward and pushing forward and things like that. I think that one of the first ways that you can start moving forward is by not using like derogatory language, if that's the correct word to use in that text. Because when you refer to people as a gangbanger or a drug dealer, so
Right.
on and so forth,
Right.
it automatically puts a negative stigma into a person's head.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask
Yes,
you a
sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
If a person's in a gang, what are they called?
A gang member.
Okay, so what's derogatory in that when I'm calling them what they are?
Because as far as it's derogatory as far as the way that you're using it. Because at the end of the day, yes, they are what they portray.
Right.
That is what they are. But at the
Okay.
same time, is that not still somebody's child? Does that change the fact that they still
Wait. Before, okay, listen. Let's have this conversation not as emotional people, but let's talk about facts. When I'm talking about a gangbanger, I'm not talking about a gangbanger's mother, because then I would say gangbanger's mother, or I would say drug dealer's mother, or I would say the whoremonger's mother, right? I'm talking about that person specifically. I'm not talking about a gangbanger's mother. Right now, are there people out there that have been part of gangs that are doing positive things? Yes, they are. That goes without saying, right? But we're talking about on an overwhelming majority, not a minority, an overwhelming majority. Now, just because you say gangbanger, you're saying that it brings a negative connotation to that word. Why is there being a negative connotation brought to that word? Can you explain that to me, sir?
Because of the way that society looks at it or makes it.
Have they not done? No, that's wrong. I mean, that's like you saying, why do we call someone a rapist? What about that rapist? Have they not done things in society to be called a rapist? That's negative.
Okay.
And I know that rapists don't do anything positive. That was a bad example of it. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is,
hello?
Being a gang. Yeah, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Saint, can you hear me? You're going to have to come back in, bro. Come back in. Call back in. Call back in, because I can't hear you. So the young brother is saying that, using the word gangbanger brings a negative connotation to people that are in gangs. Hold on, he's back. Can you hear me? Hello. Saint, can you hear me? You're going to have to try and come back in. Before you come back in, make sure that green line goes up and down when it asks you to make sure that your microphone is working, because I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. So I guess maybe he would like me to say gang member. Maybe that would be better. These negative terms that are put on these things are not something that was made up. They've done a lot of negative. Not saying that there aren't gang members that do things positive. I'm sure there are. In fact, I know some that do. Hold on. All right, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
All right, whatever microphone or whatever speaker you have on the background, turn that down.
Okay, well, I'm talking through my phone. So
Okay. All right. So would you rather the term gang member be better?
no, the example that I was going to use, for instance, was that 1 second, give me 1 second.
So like I was saying is we have to start dealing with truth. And what truth is this. For example, the word nigger comes from the Latin word niger, which means dark. I believe in Acts 12:14, they called the 12 disciples niger. Okay. All the white man did, or all society has done, was add another G to it. But understanding, excuse me, I take the butt back. However, understanding how much negativity has been put on this word and how it's hurt, we take that word out of circulation, or we try to take that word out of circulation because of how it hurts people. But the original definition of it came from it being dark. So go ahead, Saint. You were saying?
Oh yeah, I was waiting for you to finish what you were
I'm
saying.
done. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, actually, I was going to use the example, you know, RP to the late Nipsey Hussle, but I was going to use him as an example. You know, when before Nipsey passed, a lot of people referred to him as this gang member, whatever, and painted him in a negative tense. And then after his demise or after he passes, now people start to acknowledge all the positive things that he was doing and now speak of him in a different text. Now he's considered Nipsey Hussle when at one time he was just considered just a gang member. So all I'm saying is that if we want to get past, then as you say, there has to be some type of common ground, some type of understanding. So instead of referring to your fellow brother as just a gang member, which automatically puts a negative tense in someone's head, that's still someone's son, that's still someone's brother. You know what I'm saying? If someone was trying to rob you, you never know. That man might step in and try to help you. If you didn't have a dollar, that man may give you a dollar. That's not saying every person will. No, I'm not saying that. But that doesn't mean that that person wouldn't.
Okay.
So,
I understand.
I'm just.
What I'm saying, look, I understand every point you make.
Mhm.
Do you know why? Here's the thing. Do you know why that Nipsey Hussle was considered a gang member, and then as he passed, he kind of transcended that name because the reputation of being a gang member preceded him.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
I
right.
agree with you.
So this is something that you have to understand when you tend to live that life, that your
Mhm.
reputation is going to precede you. Now, whether you're one of those violent gang members or a positive gang member, the
Mhm.
overall uh the overall view of what gang members are has been negative.
Yes, sir. I'm speaking.
Opposed to, I
If,
got you.
if,
Opposed
if you
to,
mind me, if you mind me chiming in for one
go
second,
ahead, brother.
I wanted to say that I do agree. I do agree with what you are saying, because what you are saying is 100% true. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, for us, I'm only speaking for us as a people, because I believe that that's what this channel is for. It is mainly for men, yes, but not exclusively. It is for our people,
What's
and
our
it's
people?
me,
What do you mean by
our
our
people, as
people?
far as minorities, colored people.
It's for everybody.
Okay, well, I apologize.
No, it's all
Let
good.
me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm speaking majority
Right.
for our people, because our people are the ones that are going through this.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So if our people, and we are trying to move forward as a people, I feel that now it has to be an understanding, and let's refer to people differently. You know what I'm saying? Instead of calling that girl a hoe or a thought or whatever, however you like to refer to a woman, that's your sister. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Let's work on changing the terms and the stigmas that surrounds our people, and then once we begin to understand each other, now we can start the transformation process.
Well, let me say this
Or
to you. Let me say this to you on that. Right.
mhm.
What you're saying made complete sense. However, that doesn't make sense if you are a gang member.
Okay, elaborate on that.
There's no more to elaborate on. If I see if I see a girl acting like a hoe or she's around hoes, my initial reaction is going to be she's a hoe. She may not be one. She may not. But if you hang out with 11 broke people, sooner or later you become the 12th.
The 12th. Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
Sir.
So if you're hanging around hoes, I'm going to automatically assume that you are one. Is that true? I mean, is that fair? No, it's not. But this is what reality is. So knowing that gang members, it has a negative connotation on it. Not all people in gangs are bad. In fact, I know a few and they're very positive. However, being in something, knowing that's like you being in the mafia and all you do is good. But knowing the past of what the mafia stands for, you can't get upset when someone gets scared.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that. There's a lot more negative when it comes to the mafia than there is positive. Not saying that they haven't done anything positive, but there's a lot more negative to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you're talking about being in gangs and what I see on television today, what I see in music videos today, and I see what they represent, is there not more negative than positive?
Yes. And I can
Doesn't that kind of
actually
defeat your argument?
yes.
Okay.
And me being who I am, for the people that don't know, my name is saying I am a music artist. I make music, and I'm tuning into Bolo's channel from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate your channel and I appreciate the topics that you speak on. They actually do help me and help the people that, that I come into contact with. So now that I got that out of the way, I do play a part in, a lot of the things that you are speaking on. So I can't come and speak like, I'm perfect, because I'm not.
None of
You
us
know
are.
what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just come in because I understand that you're older. So you come from an older generation where your perspective on things are different from my generation. I'm 22 for the people that don't know. So I was
You
born
know
in
what's so
97.
crazy, Saint? Here's what's so crazy. As far as my generation being, different,
Mhm.
I wear the same sneakers you wear,
Yeah.
the same belt buckles you wear.
I know some fly OGs.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is I'm not that far from you. What I'm saying to you is I just bring more of a understanding because I've been on this earth longer than you. So I bring a different perspective. Now, a person that's 65 or 70, they'll bring a different perspective to me because they've been on this earth longer. So there's a lot of things in a lot of education and information that they're going to have that I'm going to sit down to listen to and hear. So a lot of the times, you youngins, y'all think that we are so far removed from your generation that we don't understand what y'all talking about or we don't understand what you're going through. And that's furthest from the understanding. That's furthest from what it really is. The point of the matter is I understand that the inceptions of what gangs were created for was because there was no families in the inner city and they
Oppression.
decided to come together and form a family. I understand where it started from. I understand what it was created for, but what it is and what it has turned into as a whole, is an issue. Now, are there those in the gang member community trying to make that change? There are. In fact, I work with some, I talk to them, and I see the change that they're trying to make because of the negative connotation that it has. I get it. I get it. It's the same thing that when a white woman is walking across the street and she clutches her purse. Can I be angry that she does? Yes, I can. But when I look from the outside in, When I look from the outside in and I see how we act, I understand why she clutches her purse. Do you understand my point?
Yes.
You have to self-reflect. For you to understand for you to understand how you're affecting someone, you have to sit back and look at it from the outside and say, damn, is what I'm saying and how I'm saying it the right thing? And is what I'm doing right? This is what you have to do. As men, we're not afforded the same type of mistakes women can make. We're not afforded that. So we have to be more strategic in understanding the moves that we make and be more cat-like. And what I mean by that, meaning more patient in our movements and not be so quick to just react. And in our communities, being that the fathers have been removed for whatever situation it might be, you youngins has been taken from you. You have been robbed of that. So a lot of you cats get into these gangs because you're looking for a positive role model. And unfortunately, that's the only one that might be in your community. And I'm speaking specifically for those.
And if not a positive role model, a sense of family.
Right. So it's not that you had a choice. You were put in this situation. Because I'm sure if you had a choice of picking your family, you wouldn't have picked them. But because of out of necessity, I have no choice. I have to roll with them. They in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it. But as we start to get older, we have to revamp the way we think. We have to start to think things through. We have to start to understand the movements that we make. We're no longer kids anymore. We're grown men. So we have to understand that sooner or later, you're going to have a child. You're going to have to be that example for that man child or that woman child you have. You have to be able to pick and make sure you pick the right woman. Don't make the mistakes half of us grown-ass men have made. Don't do that. You have to sit down and meticulously plot the next move you're going to make. You have to understand that, man. And this is what at Bolo TV we're trying to do. There's a lot of people out there, you want to talk about black men and Hispanic men, let's do that. There's a lot of black men and black Hispanic men that don't have a place to go to. They don't have a place to speak. They don't. And if you can, Drizzle, if you could call in, man, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to bring you in on this call if you can. I'm gonna put the link if you can. You might be working. I don't know what your situation is, but if you can, come in. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create that sense of family here. We're trying to correct the mistakes that was made. We're trying to do this at Bolo TV. We're trying to do this at the DJ Just J, Advocate for Kids. We're trying to do this at Relationship Rehab. We're trying to do this at Tommy Sotomayor. We're trying to do these things. And this is just a few channels that I'm mentioning that are trying to be positive. Saint, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right. I'm bringing my man Drizzle.
Okay.
Drizzle's going to come on. And I want you to understand what Bolo TV is trying to do in the sense of what we're trying to create here. Okay. Hold
And
on.
Bolo, before I forget, I
I
also
lost you,
too,
Drizzle. I lost you. Come back on. Go ahead.
before I forget, Bolo, I also want to thank you for the viewers who don't know as well. I am the person that you see when every time or hear every time he starts his new streams or his videos and things like that. So I definitely appreciate you for the support. And you
No,
know,
no problem. Because I understand. When you do positive music like you did when it came to, testimony, you'll get my support 100%. 100%. Because half the things that these youngins is talking about, I can't understand it. The only thing that I get is skirt. That's all I understand. Hold on. Drizzle, I keep losing you, Drizzle. Come back on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what they say. And I can't understand it. I can't connect to the music. When you look at my generation or what music I came up on, you can connect to it. They were talking about something. That doesn't mean that we didn't have party rap or stunt rap or cats just battling each other. Yeah, we had that. But when it came into, shooting each other and I got 15 bullets and I'm going to put 15 of them into your uncle, come on, I can't connect to that. I really can't. So we need to understand that your vibe attracts your tribe. So what does that mean? The vibe that you put out there is what you're going to attract back. If a chick dresses like a thought, she's going to attract dudes that like thoughts. And usually cats that like thoughts, they usually don't have good jobs. They usually ain't about nothing. They're about the smash and the dash. That's usually what they're about. It just is what it is. If she's dressed a certain way, respectfully, you're not going to have this dude that's pants down to his behind. He's not going to do that.
I agree. The approach will definitely be different.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make, that there's a lot more negative when it comes to the word gang member than there is positive. Now, the inception of that was a positive thing, but somehow, somewhere, it became negative. Do you understand that these gang members are killing brothers? They're killing each other?
Yes, sir.
What's your response to that?
I mean, honestly, like I said, uh, I'm young. I'm from Durham, North Carolina, and this is kind of the lifestyle down here as well. Um, Honestly, there is no logical explanation for it. The only explanation for it is going to be the same thing that you always hear. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we was put in poverty, it put people into a certain type of mindset. So when you come up and you don't have enough, you look at the people that have more than you, and instead of embracing or acknowledging the fact that somebody is doing better or somebody is quote unquote winning, people turn that into hate. And then when one person does something to you, I mean, every man naturally has pride, so no man wants to feel like the next man got a one up on him. So it goes from a tit for tat to it
But
escalated to
but here's my
killing.
question. Isn't a lot of the killing and the robbing and the drive-bys and all that, isn't it really done to people that's living in the same poverty as you?
Yes, sir.
So how is that? So again, why would you have a problem with me saying gang banger when your own people are killing their people for the color that they wear, for the neighborhood that you're in?
Well, what I want to say to that is, you know, for one, the I agree with you when you was talking about the gang culture and things like that. For one, the premise behind what the game was started for has, yes, been lost, and definitely been lost in my generation. Um so it has went from putting your people up and policing your own people and protecting your people from oppression to now where it's just, throwing your hands up and what color you're wearing, and like I said, it really is no justification. It really is no explanation for it. But what I, as one trying to become a change, because I always remember a quote that Mahatma Gandhi said is, you become the change that you want to see in the world. You know what I'm saying? So as one that's trying to become the change, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to try and get the older generation to understand, because that's really what the disconnect is. The disconnect is that the older generation sees how wild and how reckless and how my generation doesn't want to listen. And with that being said, the older generation wants nothing to do with us. And
and
this is why
and
we're
and
lost.
and killing each other.
I mean, yeah, and
Why? Let me ask you a question. Would
that
you
goes into
want to?
being wild and reckless.
Let me ask you a question. Would you want to be connected to a wild ass pit bull that's biting everybody?
No, sir.
All right. So
But
there's your
is there
answer.
not? But is there not certain people that can deal with the dog and bring the better side out of the dog than others? You know what I'm saying? Because there are people that will go and see a dog that no one else can tame or no one else can get to, and there's always that one person that can speak to the dog or do something to the dog that can understand.
Well,
You
that's
know what I'm
why. Well,
saying?
that's why Bolo TV is here. But you
Yes,
need
sir.
to. But you need to understand that the majority of people are not going to want to have to do anything with that pit bull.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and that's
But
why I
see. But
said
hold
let's
on. Hold
start.
on. But there's a two-way street. It's
Hmm.
not just the. It's not just the person that don't want to deal with the pit bull. The pit bull is angry. The pit bull is
Yes,
mad. The pit bull is
yes,
biting everybody.
yes.
So who would want to put their hand in that cage and get bit?
Can I ask one question?
Of course you may, but answer mine
Can you?
first.
Okay, nobody would want to put their hand in that cage,
Okay,
but
or
at the same,
only a skilled person would.
yes, yes, would want to deal with that.
Okay, go
A
ahead.
very
What's your question?
special person would want to deal with that.
Right.
But to now, flip the perspective and put yourself in the dog. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Who knows what turned that dog to become that? Because no dog just comes out as a puppy angry. So
And
it
that
had to be things that dog had been through that had turned that dog into that angry dog.
exactly.
So to change
Exactly.
it, okay, excuse me, go ahead.
Exactly your point. Very good point. That's the purpose of my stream of poverty and mental illness, the connection.
Hmm.
That's the purpose of the stream today. That anger stunts your growth. So the point of the matter is this. Okay. I get your point, and your point is very valid. But do you know what they do with an animal that is just completely angry and just doesn't want to connect and doesn't want to understand? They put him
Put them
down.
down.
They put him down.
Yes,
So
sir.
before they put him down, what did they try to do? They tried to connect, right? They tried to deal with the dog. They tried to handle the dog. They tried to bond with the dog. The dog doesn't want to bond. The dog is so stuck in the mode that it's in. Maybe it's the dog's fault. Maybe it's not the dog's fault. We're coming in on the aspect of the dog is angry.
On the
Now,
outside looking in.
on the outside, no, the dog is angry. We're
Mhm.
trying to get that dog to a point where that dog can communicate.
Mhm.
That dog can communicate. So now, if me and that dog can communicate, if the dog and I can communicate, now we can kind of figure out what made that dog the way he is or she is. If we cannot communicate, if there's a so big of a gap that this dog cannot communicate, like anybody, we're gonna leave the dog alone. We're gonna leave him alone. So if I'm saying to you, I understand your problem, but before we get to dealing with the problem, you and I need to communicate and trust each other and understand each other. Once we learn that trust and understand, now we can deal with that anger issue, right? Once we deal with the anger, now you might have every reason to be angry, every reason to be angry. But to live in that zone is the problem. To live in it is the issue.
Okay, so now my question to you is there a time limit on how long it takes the dog to now give that trust?
Let me
Because
say this.
it's natural that after you've been hurt so many times or your trust has been taken for granted so many times, you always any natural person or animal will close themselves off. So
And
now,
I
is there a
agree.
time limit?
I'll say this to you, right? We could take it off the example of a dog and put it onto man now.
Okay.
All right. Um, no, there isn't no time limit. But this is what I've learned in my short 47 years on this earth, that man planteth, man watereth, but it's God that give the increase.
I agree.
So what does that mean? That means no matter how much I want to try and make you understand, you're only going to understand when God wants to give you that increase. You're only going to understand when you're ready to release that anger. You're only going to understand when you're ready to admit to your part into whatever we're talking about. When you're ready to release that anger, that's when you're going to be ready to grow. Until then, you won't. Until then, you will be stuck. You ever go to, well, you don't go, but there's people that I know that have gone back to their high school reunions and they still are living back in their high school reunion days. Everyone done moved on, doctors, lawyers, whatever. This one person is still living back there because you know what? The anger kept them living in the past. Instead of them living for the future and learning from the past, they were living in the past and they never grew. I'm bringing Drizzle on now, Saint. Drizzle, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Not
Saint,
much,
can you hear
brother.
me? Can you hear me? Saint?
Yes. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Drizzle,
Ooh.
please explain to Saint where you were at um and what the mind frame you were in. You don't have to go into the store, but just tell them where you were at as far as being angry and upset at your situation.
Man, and I don't think a level of anger could even describe that because I was at the point where if anything happened to me or if I did anything to myself, it was like whatever. And if anything happened to my son's mother, I would just be waiting on that phone call of when I can get my child. Like I just wouldn't care. Like it took nothing but prayer in a form of focus and mental stability to even sway me away from that type of feeling and that type of animosity. Like I was in a very very dark and low place, low point.
That's what anger does to you, Saint. That's what anger does. Anger keeps you in that dark place. And I'm glad he used that example. It keeps you in that dark place, not allowing you to see where the light is until someone or something happens that it breaks that cycle and you're able to see what's going on. So, to all those gang affiliated people, I hope that's a better word than gang members, gang affiliated people, drug affiliated people, and every other negative connotation of our people out there. There's a better way of doing things. There's a better way. Do you want to respond to what he was saying, Saint?
I really, I would say what I would say is this. I can relate to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't say that I'm fully out of it, but I'm slowly coming out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I do understand depression. I do deal with mental illness as well. I deal with PTSD and other things, due to the different events that I've been through in my life. But at the same time, I definitely agree with you. It do come to a certain point where you have to look into that mirror and you have to, have that talk with yourself and understand, like, is this what I want to be? Do I want to wake up every day angry? Do I want to, and you got to understand, like, there's something out here better for me, because when I should have been going, when I could have been going, the Lord kept me here. The Lord don't make mistakes. Everything is done by design and by plan. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm still here, that means that my peace matters. You know what I'm saying? That I'm here for a reason. You have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And once you understand that, it makes you look at life different.
Right. So you need to understand that how do you gain that clarity? It's by putting people around you that think the same way as you.
Right.
That's how you gain that clarity. Because again, I use this example all the time. You hang out with 11 broke people, you're gonna become the 12th. You hang out with people that are in a better situation than you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Why? So that you can grow from them. This is what you need to do. I don't need two heads in this situation. So there's going to be a head, an arm, leg, another arm, and another leg. And together we're all going to walk together. But this is the point of what Bolo TV was created for. This is what we do here. We help each other. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to say, well, you this and you that. We're not here for that. We're here to hear the truth, because the truth will be heard here on this
Hey,
platform.
Bolo, I'm sorry for cutting you short, but I just want to, thank you for bringing me on, because my phone is going to die, so 1%. I just want to thank you for
All right,
bringing me
brother.
on
Well,
and
thank you
giving
for
me the
coming
time.
on.
No problem. No.
Yeah, Drizzle. Yo, man,
Yeah.
how you doing, brother?
I've been all right, man. Nice. I'm working steadily again. I've been keeping up my prayers, bro.
Beautiful.
I just been mainly trying to focus on positivity.
Now you ain't trying, you doing it. We don't try. You an American, not an American. You doing it, baby.
But also, I want to add something on to what he was saying, man. I don't know if he's still listening because he dropped out pretty quick. Like his phone probably
Yeah,
just
I dropped him
literally.
off a quick. Yeah. But ask,
Oh,
say
okay.
what you
No,
say.
I thought his phone literally died in the process of him
No.
trying to get on. But to add on to what he was saying, man, I dabbled. Well, not dabbled. I was suffering from this for a long time. I suffer from self harm, whereas the pain felt better on the outside than it did on the inside. And there were times where I had gashes on my arms where you could see I've cut myself times to the white meat,
Wow.
to the time where I would probably, like, matter of fact, a lot of people wouldn't notice unless you actually knew me. I wear a sports sleeve, a basketball sleeve, kind of like how Allen Iverson wore back in the
Right.
NBA.
Right.
I keep a basketball sleeve on my arm to literally hide that particular arm because it's that noticeable. Like I have scars down my entire arm,
Right.
and it don't happen. Getting better doesn't happen overnight. It took me a long time, and matter of fact, again, like I told you, you saved my life because at one point I didn't believe I had a purpose here. I believe I was one of those people that believed that friends, family, whatever, were better off without me. And it takes time to get yourself out of that mindset. It never happens overnight.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and they were telling me that they wanted to just be alone by themselves. And my response to them when they said that to me is, no, you can't do that, because that's what the enemy wants you to do. You're meant to form a community and speak to each other, so all of our issues are out in the open, so that he can't come and hide and manipulate us. We need to talk. We need to come together and love each other and support each other and be each other's shoulder. We need that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I thank you that you trusted me enough, not knowing who I am, not knowing what could happen. I thank you for trusting me enough with your situation and letting me in and being that brother that I can be and you being my brother. Now, I want to thank you for that. You
I
know,
want to thank you.
um,
I want to thank you for doing what it is, for what it is that you believe needs to be done. Because like you elaborate on, it's really more so of not just men but the person in general having an outlet. A lot of people
right.
don't have that outlet.
And I believe that. I believe that, I'm really starting to, as I get older, I'm starting to really start to self-examine all the things that we just clicheishly say. And, when the straw that broke the camel's back came across my desk and I thought about that, it really brought tears to my eyes because we don't understand how fragile the mind is. As open and as vast the mind can be, it can also be so jail-like when you feel that there's no one out there that can speak to you. There's no one out there. You're by yourself in this situation. That's a hell of a thing to be incarcerated in your own mind. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Man, I've for the last what year and a half, going on 2 years since I stopped dealing with my son's mother. I felt exactly like that. I didn't have no type of outlet. I was still dealing with my self harm issues, and there was there was really there was really like a false sense of happiness, I guess you could say. And my wife has helped me through it the best of her ability, but ultimately I had to and have to seek help. There's absolutely no way around it.
Right. Now, how did you feel about that? Like when you were, did you feel less of a man or weak that you had to seek help to go talk
Yeah,
to someone?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, everything you did, everything it's 100% true.
We're losing you, Drizzle.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know what was going on. My phone doing stupid stuff.
That's okay.
There, there were plenty of times where I felt less than a man having to sit across from that psychiatrist, having to having to talk about the same things I spoke to you on here about, and it kind of it kind of dwells in your psyche and makes you feel like it kind of makes you feel small, like your contributions to society or to your family are just that tiny and minuscule.
Yeah, I know what you feel, brother. I've been there, and I'm not man enough to say that I haven't, you know, seen help. Um, did I feel what I felt was I was at a point where I would be no help to nobody if I didn't get help. That's where I was at with my depression. And um it's and like I said before, I always thought that people that were depressed, I always thought of them as being weak until the Lord put me through it. And then I understood. This is no joke, man. It's no joke. And for those of you people out there that know people that suffer from depression or mental illness, it's no joke. Don't down them. Don't clown them. They need your help. They need your support. They need you to hear them and listen. No judgment. That's what they need. Thank God that we got to this brother in time. The Lord got to this brother in time where he's now stronger, he's better, he's working on his family, and the same for me. This helps me as much as it helps you guys. This helps me as much as it helps you guys. So anything else you want to say, Drizzle?
Oh no, brother. I was tuning. I was listening, man. Those couple comments I did get in, I was in between cooking for the kids and thing while my wife's out. So I've been real busy throughout the course of the day. So I was just listening and being quiet in the background.
Yeah. Listen, man. As long as you here, as long as you know what I'm saying, as long as your vibe is here, as long as your spirit is here, that's what we need, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need, and that's what we're gonna continue to do. We're gonna continue to love you, Drizzle. We're gonna continue to pray for you. We're gonna continue to pray for your family, and pray that you gain strength, and pray that your situation gets better. And it sounds like it's getting better. It might be slow, but it's getting better. Is this true?
Yeah, it's a slow process. I can definitely admit that much, but I do feel honestly like by the end of the day, every day, and I reassess my actions throughout the course of the day. I try to look at some things I could have probably did better through the course of the day. Little small things like that, and I feel as if I come out a bigger person every day, whether it's an inch or a foot or a centimeter. I just feel like a bigger person by the end of every day once I sit back and assess things and assess how I handled something that probably randomly, kind of ticked me off or got under my skin, something like that.
Well, like Shah said, you know what I'm saying? Definitely self-reflection. Self-reflection is definitely a good thing. And as long as you learn, from the mistakes that you've made in the past, as long as you learn from it, man, you will always be a better man. You'll always be a better person. Ever learning. That's the point. Always moving forward, understanding and learning from your mistakes and trying your best not to make those mistakes happen again. Any last words, Drizzle?
No, man, just bro. Again, I appreciate what you're doing, man, and I, I want you to keep going, bro. I want you to keep on doing this, bro.
I'm gonna try my
Any type
best, man.
of any type of negative thoughts, any type of you might get, any type of swing thoughts to negate that and keep pushing forward, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening.
Man, I'm around. I might not comment much, but I'm around.
I'm not. Listen, man. Listen. As long as you there, man. You Lord God. Let me say this, Lord God. Please keep us strong. Give us the wisdom, knowledge, but most of all, understanding. Thank you, Lord, for getting this brother on a more positive course. Thank you, Lord, for giving this brother the strength to stand strong. Thank you, Lord God, for showing him mercy. Lord, we beg you to please help his situation to get better. Help him to see and to always seek your word and to stand strong in your spirit. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Drizzle, thank you, brother, man.
Thank you, man.
All right. So, I didn't plan on coming on for 2 hours, but you know, you know how the Spirit of the Lord moves. So what we need to understand that we need to get past our anger. Our anger, and anger comes in many different forms. It can come in self-pity. It can come in many different ways. We need to get to that point where you just, for lack of a better word, do your best to try to get over it. Know what your part in the situation is. Accept it. That's the word. Acceptance. You know, a lot of the times we're angry and we don't grow because we don't accept the part that we played in whatever the situation is. Only until you accept what you're in can you move on. Thank you, Tasha. The only time you can move on is when you accept the situation you're in. You know, if you can't accept it, you will continue to fight it and you will continue to live in that place and stay stagnant. And that's not what we want for you. Okay? We want you to grow. So from the past you learn. For the future and the present you live. From the past we learn. For the present and the future we live. For the past we learn. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from it. Learn what you should have done opposed to what you did do. Zig when you should have zagged, as they say. Learn from your past. Life is meant to be lived forward, but understood backward. Understand that. So when you understand what you're going through, when you understand and you have the education, and what do I mean by education? Because I know you guys hear me say that a lot. The education is knowing that I have an issue, knowing that doing the same thing over and over again is not going to solve this issue. I have to switch the game up. I got to change my tactic. I have to change how I come and address this situation. You know, so only knowing how to address it will we learn how to deal with it. So like the doctor said, Anita Phillips, so eloquently, she said that you're not supposed to live upset, angry, disappointed, sad. That's not a normal life. For those of you in my voice that can hear me and that is living in that world, I pray for you that the Lord opens up your heart, opens up your mind, and brings someone into your world to say to you that you're important, to say to you that we love you, to say to you that there's something important for you on this planet. Taking your life is not the answer. Doing something harmful to yourself is not the answer. Going out there to go rob because you got to put food on the table is not the answer. You have to sit down and just listen, hear. There's always an option. The easiest option is usually not the best option. Understand that. The easiest option is usually not the best option. So if you need someone to talk to, Bolo TV is on Wednesdays and Sundays. I will be adding more times, but I work also. But Wednesdays and Thursdays is our schedule. If you need someone to talk to, you can email me at bolotv16@gmail.com. I do counsel. I do this. So, or consult. you would like a consultation, hit me up at bolotv16@gmail.com. If you have any topics that you would like me to talk on pertaining to mental illness, hit me up, bolotv16@gmail.com. This channel was created for men, but not exclusively for men. We're open to women and children. This is about mental illness and depression. Finding someone and helping them. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what your religious affiliation, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation might be. We're here to help. Okay, do you want to come in? I see you here. I see you here. The person I'm supposed to have a conversation with is here. I don't know if you want to come in. I just threw the link in the chat. So if you want to come in, you can come in. If not, we can save it for another time. So this is why Bolo TV was created. Come on in, click the link. Let's talk. It was created so that we can create an environment that all of us can talk to each other. We family here. We family. When you have an issue, we'll talk about it. If you have a situation that you just want to get off your chest, come on the channel and vent. We'll do that. That's what we're here for. That's what it was created for. And then after you vent, after we decide to talk about your issues, now it's time to work. Now it's time to get to work. Now we'll point you towards people that can help you. I do not see you, Milano. I do not see you in the room. I'll put that link again. So click the link. So that's what we do here, man. We're here for each other. We're here to help each other, and we're here to do better. No, you don't need to show your face. In fact, I stress that we don't show our face because I want total anonymity. I want you to be able to speak and say and talk how you feel. Now, I don't want to say that this is a children's show, but I want it to be open to any and everyone to listen to. So no, you don't need to show your face. So you can just come on and speak freely because I know you want to talk about a topic and I don't want to say the topic until I see you and we could talk about it together. So that's what we're doing, man. We're trying to change lives. We're trying to help people. When you say you're in, are you in for the conversation? Because I do not see you. There you go. Hold on. Now you don't have to put your face on, brother, if you don't want to. You could take your face off. But if you want to keep your face, I'll bring you in. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm okay, man. So talk. So you wanted to talk about, you emailed me and said you wanted to talk about, turn your mic down a little bit, please.
Okay, hold on.
Right. That's much better. You said you wanted to talk about women that coddle their man child. And
do you see my face? Because my face is shown, but do you see it?
I do see your face. You could take the mic. You could take the picture off if you want.
How do I take it off?
You should see a button on the bottom that says camera. Just hit that button.
All right. Camera. Stop cam.
Stop cam.
All right.
There
Yeah.
you go,
Okay.
my man.
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good.
All right, so go ahead. Floor is yours. What did you want to talk about? Talk to me.
I've heard about like a lot of these stories why a lot of these men are the way they are because I feel like a lot of these mothers are coddling their sons and I feel like it contributes to them being lazy. They don't have a strong work ethic and all that.
What do you
'Cause I'm
mean? Hold on. Turn your mic down a little bit. I can still hear a lot of feedback.
okay.
Okay. What do you mean that they're lazy? And what do you mean by that?
Like they don't go as hard as on their sons as they would go on their daughters.
And you're saying that these are you speaking in the black community and Hispanic community?
The black.
The black community. So you're
Yes.
saying that you see that the majority of black women go harder on their sons than they do their daughters?
No, go harder on their daughters than they do their sons.
Oh, sorry, they go harder on their daughters than they do their sons.
Yes.
Give me an example of that, please.
Like daughters are expected to maintain A's on their report card, but boys could come home with C's and D's, and they're not chastised the same way. Like girls have to grow up faster. They have to be like the second mom, where they have to cook for their brothers, provide and do everything while mom is out working 2 jobs. While the son and the daughters always have chores, but the sons don't.
Let me ask
They're
you a
not
question.
cutting the grass.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think these young men are out there selling drugs or
Trying to
out
help
there gangbangers? Trying to what? Say it again.
trying to help mother pay the bills, and there's no father in the home either.
Okay, but hold on. Originally, you said that the women or mothers are harder on the daughters than they are the sons.
Correct.
The sons are not doing anything.
Correct.
But you just said that these cats are out there selling drugs to do whatever they need to do to help support the house, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Isn't that in direct conflict with what you're saying?
In a way, yeah, but I mean, when I mean not doing anything, like I mean, as far as positivity, anything like
Well,
that.
well, listen, it's a continue. I don't know if you've seen my show on poverty and mental illness.
Yeah.
We have to understand that if there's no positive male role model there,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if there's no positive role model there, they're only going to do or act like what they see. Do you agree with me
Correct.
on that? Okay.
Correct.
So we have to break that cycle. We have to start instilling more positive role models so that these young men have something to emulate, right?
I agree.
Okay. So when you say that these mothers are harder on the girls and not on the men, I'm trying to understand because that's in direct conflict to what you're agreeing with me on. Because these mothers are telling these young men at 6, 7 years old, 8 years old, you're the man of the house. You got to go out there and provide because the father ain't there.
It's kind of like what it is. Sometimes I feel like they have to be the man that their mother couldn't keep.
I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say is I agree with you, right?
Yes.
Usually, the young men become the man that their mother don't have.
Yes.
But I'm trying to have this conversation because you wanted the topic to be on mothers are more strict on the daughters than they are on the boys when it's totally opposite.
Oh, okay.
Mothers are harder on boys than they are on their daughters because as long as a girl look pretty, she's going to get far. Majority of the times. Now, I'm not saying that, and we're talking about the worst scenario. So when you're looking at the inner city and in the hood, when you say that the mothers are harder on the girls than they are on the boys, you got to give me a better example of what you're saying. Please.
All right. I'm going by what I saw growing up, where the mothers would allow the boys. The boys didn't have any chores. They didn't have to do anything in the home. They didn't have to cut the grass. They didn't have to vacuum. They didn't have any chores. But then, with some of them that could be 18, 21 and still live at home. But then they'll keep the daughters up by the time they're like 16, 17, 18. And the daughters, like I said, have to come home with A's and B's on the report card. And the boys are not expected to maintain that.
But let me ask you this: those girls that were getting kicked out, did the mothers have boyfriends?
Some of them do, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they were being kicked out because the mothers thought that they were in competition with the
Yes.
daughters. Right. So that's not the boy's fault. That's the mother's fault.
Yeah.
So it sounds like what you're trying to address is the thought pattern and the thought process of the mother.
Okay.
The mother's in the situation that you're giving is the issue. Because when you have a broken woman, she's only gonna continue the cycle of what she's used to having. If she didn't have a positive role model, because remember, man, the first woman you fell in love with was your mother,
Yes.
right? And it's the
Yes.
same.
Correct.
So it's the same thing with the girl. The first man that she falls in love with is her father.
Father.
So here's the adverse effect. If my father is a good man, but my mother isn't, but my father decided to stay with her because he didn't want me to grow up without a mother, subconsciously and subliminally, I will use that woman in certain scenarios. I will use that woman as the example of woman that I would want,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. So this is why we have to break that cycle and and give these children a better example of what a man could be opposed to what a woman could be.
Okay, it's making sense.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
I do.
so when you say that you have these mothers that are raising these girls, and these girls are getting thrown out of their home at 17, 18, now we got to start going into why are they getting thrown out. That's why I asked you. And unfortunately, in our community, a lot of them, when they get 16, 17, a lot of these young girls are filling out. They are filling out. And when you're dealing with a mother that did not have an example of a good father, and she's dealing with one of these derelict dudes out there, he's going to start looking at the daughter. And she sees this. So when she detects that competition, the first thing for her to do is throw the daughter out.
Get rid of her. Yes.
So we have to break that cycle. That's what we have to do. And not all mothers are like this, but talking about this situation, we can't just go off on a tangent. We have to be specific in situations like this. So, when it comes to women raising our men, a lot of women, especially with this feminist movement, it's kind of cavaliered women to want to be single parents, to want to have children without their father. You understand what I'm saying? So,
correct.
In saying this, they're continuing the cycle of not having a man in the home and then having any random man come in. What example are you preparing for your daughter? Now, I'm not saying every single mother is like this. I'm just saying, pertaining to this conversation in the topic that my man wanted to talk about, in this situation, this is what's happening. So if you want to have change, be that change. Be the change. So if you want to see something different, do something different. If you don't want to be with the father, if you don't want to be with the mother, don't exclude them from participating in the child's life. We need both facets to make that child a whole. But what we have to do is create an environment that is suitable and normal and positive for that child. So in regards to what you're saying, where you're saying that women are being raised or raising these girls and being hard on them, I don't see it. What other examples do you have of it?
Well, as far as them, like when the mothers are working double shift, they have to cook for their brothers and be like the kind of like the provider, like cook for them, make sure they do what they have to do, they do their homework. It's like the second mom. That's what I mean. It's like they kind of have to grow up a little bit fast.
Right. I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that because, women live their lives on a clock, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They live their lives on a clock. At a certain age, they want to be here. At a certain age, they want to be there. At a certain age,
Oh
they want
yeah, I know.
so unfortunately, I think it's a disservice, and this is me personally,
Hmm.
regulating a child or a girl child to playing with babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because I think you're teaching them inherently to want to have a baby,
Yes.
you know? So by giving them little dolls of babies and so forth and so on, inherently they start to think that if they don't have any love at the home, the first thing that can love me unconditionally is a child.
Hmm.
So I'm going to want to have a baby. Now, this thing goes deep, man. It goes
Oh
deep.
yeah.
There are so many different facets to this that we have to start chipping away at this tree one piece at a time so that we can form some type of normalcy for our people, meaning children, men, women. It's not about just the children, because if I'm not in a good mental state, if the mother is not in a good mental state, then there's no way possible we can put that little child in a good mental state. But for those women that are raising for those women that are single, that are raising their child as a single parent, especially in the hood, if you were unable to take care of a child, there is no reason why you should have two. There is no reason why you should have three or four. The reason why I say this is because ultimate control is given to the mother. And when I say ultimate control, I mean she picks whether she has the baby, she picks whether she puts the baby up for adoption, or whatever choices are out there for the child. The man usually is out gallivanting in the earth, running around to and fro, and she's stuck with the child. So, women, you need to take the responsibility of knowing who you sleep with and knowing that the potential of you sleeping with this one night stand, it can end up you being pregnant. Nothing is 100% here. So I think you're a little hard on women when you're saying that she's, the little girl is taking care of this. Well, usually the reason why the little girl is taking care and cooking the food is because the little boy is out there selling drugs.
Hmm. Yeah. To help mom pay the bills.
Right. So I don't think it's a situation where she is, you know, being hard on the girl and coddling the boy. No, I don't think it's far from that. It's far from that. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge, our people, bro.
I agree.
And we have to get back to our Father. It starts there. We need to get back to understanding what we were put here to do and loving each other and understanding that love is not easy. With love
Hmm.
comes pain. With love comes arguments. With love comes fighting. With love, but understanding that all of it systemically comes from love will make it bearable. You know what I'm saying? So anything else you want to say, brother?
Oh, trust me, I got a lot more to talk about. There's a
All
lot
right.
of things I could get into, man.
All right, give us one more topic, man, before we end it tonight.
Okay. I'm at a point where I'm 37. I'm going to be 38 later this year, and I'm trying to. I'm like right now. I'm just trying to better myself. But like I know a female, and I've been facing this because I'm like wondering why can I. What's with me and like females, because like I've been in Atlanta for 6 years now, and my luck with women in Atlanta hasn't been the best. So I'm like, should I like should I not looking for one right now, but is it that it could be like maybe the person I'm looking for is not going to be in Atlanta, or
Well, what kind of women are you looking for, brother?
no, it's not. Well, not right now. I'm just trying to better my situation first and stabilize. But like, I'm just saying, like, even when I was at that situation, when I was in a better, good position, it's like I've been with women, different women in Atlanta, and it hasn't been the best. My luck hasn't always been good.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. What kind of women have you been with?
Women who had things going on for themselves, career driven women.
Okay. Career driven women. And what has broken up your relationship?
I guess due to the fact that sometimes me and them don't agree on certain things, because you could talk to me about anything, and even when like with politics, it certain things are just deteriorated. It's just that
Give me an
I don't
example.
know.
Give me an
Like
example of what you're talking about.
a couple years ago in 2016, in 2018, I went on a date. I went on 2 dates with this one female. She was a guidance counselor out of school in Alpharetta, 40 something years old, no kids. I myself, I had a stable job. I was working Monday through Fridays. We went on 2 days. We seemed to hit it off, but then I never heard from her again. She ghosted me.
She ghosted you.
Yeah.
What kind of women are you? What kind of women are you attracted to, brother?
I like women who got their mind right, women who got things going for themselves, who's not about the BS.
Okay, what about physically?
I mean, uh, I don't really care about the physical part. Really, it's more about the mental at
My
this point
man,
in my life.
come on, G. Come on, man. You was keeping it a buck with me. Now you flipping the script. Don't do that.
No, I'm not. Okay,
Don't
as
do
far as
that, G. Don't do that. Come on,
no,
man.
I'm not. I'm being honest. As far as physically, she could be curvy, petite, like fit, like a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if she has a little bit of weight to her,
Okay,
as long as she's not out of shape.
okay. Are you in shape?
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Okay. Do you have a good job?
Yes, I do.
All right. Cool. So you're saying that you had one relationship, you went out with her twice, and she
Well,
ghosted you.
the one relationship I had was with my son's mother since I've been in Atlanta, but that relationship only happened because I had a baby.
How long did you know her before you had the baby?
Oh, just like maybe a month. This was back when I had just moved down here in 2014.
All right. Let me ask you this. Are you at a point in your life where you want something stable, or are you still in that mode where you want to play the field?
I want something stable now. I'm 37.
You're 37 and you met your child's mother how long ago?
Back in 2014, because I moved here in January and I met her in August 2014, but we were not in a relationship. There was nothing established.
Right. You was just the dash and
True.
the smash. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And a child happened to come out of it.
What? Yes, because what happened is that I had asked her, "What do you want? Where do you wanted this to go?" And she got cold feet, and then she didn't give me a straight answer. Then I heard her in the background telling one of her friend that, "Oh, he wants a serious committed relationship," which I never said. I just wanted to know where do we stand because I didn't want to waste her time, and I didn't want her wasting my time. So I just want to know what are we doing. And I never said I wanted a relationship. I was open to whatever, but and then after there was, we just kept smashing, and then she ended up getting pregnant. And at the time, she was seeing other guys too, believe it or not.
Okay. So here's the thing, bro. It doesn't sound. I'm talking to you, and it doesn't. You don't sound too decisive in what you want, at least in the past.
Yeah, in the past, I didn't.
Okay, so it sounds like you want something positive now. You want something long lasting now,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, all right, cool. What are you doing to put yourself in a position to have something long lasting?
Well, right now, I have a good job, a very stable job. I'm working on trying to get my car back, and I'm working on trying to make other incomes. Like I'm trying to do a cryptocurrency, and while I have my stable job, and then try to build on that from there. And then, like I said, working on getting my car back.
Okay. So what are you doing to put yourself out there as far as to the opposite sex to let them know that, listen, this is what I want. I want this, I want that, and I want it to be serious. When you're having conversation, what was the last conversation you had with a chick that you just met? How did that go?
Oh, okay. The last I had one on Friday. It didn't. It went well, but then we're not even talking anymore.
Why? What was the conversation?
Well, we were just talking about basic stuff in general, and all right, I would be keeping about. It was different with other women and everything, because this is not my son's mother. Me and my son's mother, we
Right.
broke up, and we broke
Okay.
up in 2017.
Right.
Now, I will say this: there's this female who I started talking to in 2017. We haven't met yet. She's in Virginia. We're still talking. We just haven't met, but we had our little ups and downs because she couldn't stand me, and there was times when I would get annoyed with her. But we're at a better place now with each other. She lets me know that she wants something very stable. I let her know the same thing, and we talked about finances. We talked about what's our goals, where we're
Have you
trying to
seen
go.
have you seen her?
Oh yeah, we face chat, we FaceTime.
Oh, you FaceTime with her. So
Yeah,
she's seen you and you've seen her.
yes.
Okay, so why haven't you guys seen each other? Why it's been 3 years? Virginia is not that far from Atlanta.
Well, at the time, well, okay, well, when we started talking, I come to find out that she had epilepsy,
Okay.
but then she wasn't really working or driving at the time. I come to find out, and she started driving back in 2018, but at the time, I didn't. My car was bad, so I was working at the airport at the time, and and I wasn't so. And I wasn't in the best state. I was working at the airport, but my car was not working at the time. So I got another job, a better job. Then I got my car back. So now my car went bad November of last year and Thanksgiving. So I'm working on getting my car back in another week or two. So she knows where I'm at. She knows where I'm at. She knows my situation. I know her situation. We talked a lot.
Okay.
We opened up about a lot of
So
things.
what is your question to me? What is your question to me about trying to make this work with her? What is your question?
My thing is I'm right now. I want to make it work, but I'm trying to stabilize myself first. And I'm wondering, like, besides stabilize myself and get myself in a better position, where do I go for that's trying to make it work with her now that I'm trying to better my situation?
What? Okay. The best thing for you to do is keep it 100. And what I mean by that is you allow her to make the decisions on whether she wants to rock with you or not. She already knows your issues. She knows your situation. She knows what you're looking for. You know what she's looking for, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you have conversations with her? What is your religious affiliation, if there's any?
I'm more of like spiritual. I'm not a religious person. I'm more like spiritual.
What
We
does that
talked about.
mean? What does that mean?
I believe in a higher power.
Right? And she feels the same way?
She's a Christian.
Okay. Does that have conflict with you and her?
No, at first when we started talking, I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any of that. So I started going back to church in October. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to make a change in my life because I have a good job. I have a job, and I feel like I still felt stuck. I still felt stagnant. So I was like, let me. One of my friend that I met at my other job, he was always been convincing me to come, go to church. And I was reluctant at first, but then I was like, you know what? In October, I was like, I'm gonna take a chance and I'm gonna go for it. And then I started going back in October, and I loved it ever since. So I'm trying to reconnect with the Lord.
Okay, so when you say that you're a spiritual person, you believe that there's a higher power. Do you believe that that higher power is God?
Um, yeah, it could be. Yes, it's God. It's the Lord. It's Jesus. Yes.
Okay, so then you do believe that. So when I ask you what your religious affiliation is, it shouldn't be I believe in a higher power. It should be
Okay.
I believe in my Lord and Savior.
Okay.
So let me ask you again, what is your religious affiliation?
I believe in God. I believe in the good Lord. Yes.
All right. So and she's the same way.
Yes, she's a Christian. Yeah, and
Okay. Go ahead.
she was happy for me. She was happy for me when I started going back. She loved it.
Does she have any children?
No,
Oh,
but
she
she wants
doesn't.
to though. No,
Cool.
she does though.
Okay, cool. She does. How old is she?
39, going to be 40 next month.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say this. So it sounds like both of you have a good rapport. You've been talking to each other for 3 years. You converse on politics. You converse on religion. When
Everything.
you met her, you weren't a believer in God, and somehow she has made you a believer in God. This is a good thing. So what I would say is you guys have a very foundational foundation. Okay. You guys have a good foundation. I would continue that. Now, when do you plan on going to see or have? When do you plan on going to see her or have her come to see you? When is that
Well,
supposed to happen?
well, I will say this: when I get my car back, and when I get my car back, and then when I get my car back and I fix my car up, I plan on having her come down here. We're gonna
Well,
hang
why
out the
can't you?
weekend.
Why can't you fly her down? Or why can't she fly down?
No, she don't want to do it. She want to drive down because it's
All right, so then why can't she rent a car? Why can't you rent a car? You got a good job. Why can't you do that?
well, it's I'm
Yeah,
working one job. I'm working one job right now, but
right.
I was gonna rent a car once I get my refund back, but I was like, I don't want to do that, so I'm getting my car back. And she's working. She's working a lot of overtime. And I said, I'm trying to plan it. And then when she comes down, we talked about hanging out, and then even going to the church that I go to, and she'll meet some of my friends because one of my friend, he's been asking me when is he gonna meet her.
Milano, listen to what I'm saying to you, man. If you want to see the chick, listen, it's been 3 years. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is she has she been sleeping with anybody?
She said she hasn't been. No.
Okay.
That's well, I'm gonna say this on that. She doesn't give herself to any guy. She's not that type. That's what she tells me.
This
But
is what she told you.
yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that?
Uh no, but she would. If I didn't believe it, she'll get upset and be like, "Why don't I believe it?" Because here's the thing: she's badgered me a couple times about how she's sick and tired of being alone. She don't understand why no man don't want to talk to her, and it's not just one time she's telling me this. She's telling me this a couple times,
All
and
right.
then
So
I
if
try to,
so, knowing this, and I'm sorry to cut you.
yeah.
Knowing this, why have you not taken a weekend or something to drive down to go see her?
Well, she's a drive up, but then
Drive up, down, yeah, drive up, whatever.
I wanted to do that at one point, but she was like, "No, there's nothing for her, me and her to do if I go up there." So she was like, she'd rather come down here because
The
there, at least
hell
there's
you
a
mean
lot
there's
more.
nothing for you to do? What you mean? You can
She tells
smash
me
and get
that.
to know each other. Go to a movie, go eat. What do you mean there's nothing for you to do?
She tells me, listen. She tells
My
me
G,
that.
listen, all right, listen. First
All
of
right.
all, you got to start taking command of the relationship, bro. You got to start taking command. So
Mm-hmm,
telling you that you guys have been talking for 3 years, three
mm-hmm,
years,
mm-hmm.
and she wants to talk to you, right?
Yeah,
She wants to be with you, right?
I would assume so. Yeah.
What you mean you would assume so?
Well, some because she wants to meet me and she wants to see if I'm the guy for her and see where things go because
All right, so you're gonna wait for 3 years to see that? Why don't you just drive down there or drive up there, whatever the hell it is? Go down there, rent some wheels, rent a whip, go down there to see it and see if it's worth it. Why
okay.
would you wait for you to get your car back? Because it sounds like your car's having a lot of issues or whatever. Why would you wait for all of that time when you can just go down there for a weekend, see what it is, see if it's something that you and her want to do, and figure it out from there?
All right. She okay. All right.
Yo, man,
Let me.
there's something you ain't saying, man.
No, I'm trying to. Let me say it.
Go ahead.
She wants you no, I've been wanting to I would take the bus. I was wanting to take the bus up there, but she was like, there's nothing up there because where she stays at is nothing but a bunch of white folks, hillbillies. It's she's like in the boonies. So she's like, I would rather come down there. We rent a hotel. And I was like, and she one time said that she'll pay for one night and I'll pay for the other. I said, no, I didn't feel good about that. You know what? When I was like, you come down here, I'll pay for everything. You just bring yourself. We'll have a good time, and then I'll take you to church. And then, cause
Yo, my G, you sure she ain't a stripper or something, my man?
nah, she's not a stripper. No,
You sure?
that's what she tells me. She's not a stripper.
Let
She's.
me ask you this. You sure? Listen, man. Listen.
I'm listening.
You sure, dogs? Because I don't know no woman that's gonna want to be with a dude for 3 goddamn years, and then when this dude says, "I want to come through to check you," she says, "No, I want to wait for you to come down to Atlanta." You sure? Let me ask you a question. no disrespect, baby.
Yeah.
You sure she's a chick?
It is a female. We FaceTime each other.
What the hell does that mean? You FaceTime each other?
No, we know. I know what
She showed you her genitals?
Oh no.
All right, this is what you need to do, my G. The next conversation you have with her, have her show you her genitals. For real. Listen, man. This is real talk, dogs. That's what we do here. Have her show you her genitals. Because now I'm starting to get scared for you because this is just real talk. 3 years, a chick want to smash. Unless she's smashing a town that she's in and she doesn't want anything for you to come and see. Something ain't right. Because you could go to the movies, you could go get something to eat, you could go for dinner. There's so many things you can do in a white neighborhood, in the boonies. There's so many things you could do. I'm sure there's a goddamn movie theater out there. You can go to the movies. I'm sure there's a restaurant. All of that. And she's telling you, no, I don't want. Dog, something don't sound right, my G. That didn't raise no red flags for you?
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I talked to her last Wednesday, and here's what will kind of raise a red flag for me. Like I'm like this guy named Jason at my church that I'm real cool with. So me and him will talk about certain things. And I remember I was talking to her saying that I was talking to one of my spiritual brothers named Jason. And Jason, it was somebody that a lot of women wanted to get with. And then I said light skin, and she would ask me his features. Does he have green eyes and all that? I was like, hold up.
So she feeling huh? Jason now, my G?
No, because she used to tell me when she was 14, she had a thing for light-skinned men with green eyes. But she would always, here's the thing what she would ask me. When I talk to my coworkers,
hold on, my nigga, hold on, my G. Yeah. Check this out. Keep her away from Jason, G.
You know what? She doesn't know what he looked like, but here's the thing. Now, this is why I'm getting curious. It's been bothering me for days. She's a dark-skinned female. She wants to be with a black man, and then she'll ask me what certain dudes look like, and I'll say they're dark skin or they're light skin, and she'll just okay, we'll keep it moving. But when I said light skin, she'll ask me if he has green eyes, and I'm like,
does Jason have green eyes?
I don't know. I don't look into no man's eyes like that. Come on, I ain't on it like that.
G, listen to me, man. I can look at you and see. This is the problem that I keep saying with men, bro. We got to stop this. When I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you in your face, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if I'm looking at you and I'm talking to you as men, aren't we taught to look at each other in our eyes?
Yes, correct.
Do Jason have green eyes, man?
Nah, I don't think he does. No.
All right, is his eyes blue? Is it the same color as yours?
Brown.
Oh, okay, so then, all right, well, he light skinned, so he got that going for
what does that mean, though?
Dogs, I don't know, brother. You got to ask her that. She sounds like she's attracted to light-skinned cats. And Jason is light-skinned. Keep her away from Jason. And any church member that's light-skinned with green eyes.
And I will say this too. I know a couple of times I asked her to show me like certain parts of her body, and because she's a very private person. She's very private. So when I asked her to show me even a nipple, she was hesitant to do all
G, she might be a dude, bro. She might be a dude, G. Dogs, listen to me.
Yeah.
She might be a dude, bro. For real.
Do you have Facebook, man? Because you would know what she looked like if she was on my Facebook.
My nigga. She might be a Duke. She might be a dude, bro.
She don't sound like it.
How the hell do you talk to a chick for 3 years and she won't show you a nipple? A nipple?
Yeah.
And she's talking about she want to be with you. She want to settle down. And she hasn't showed you a nipple? A nip?
Not even a nipple. Not even a...
She a dude. She a dude, dogs. What's her name?
Jennifer.
Leave Jennifer alone, my son. Leave Jennifer alone. And be careful with the chicks you talk to in the A. Because a lot of them be dudes too.
Oh, well, yeah.
Be careful, son. If I was you, I'd talk to a chick that's 2 months pregnant. At least you know she a woman.
Wow.
Word. Or wait outside the jail for one of them chicks that go to see their man, and the first question you ask is, how long is he in there for?
Yeah.
If the dude is in there for life, you got yourself a shorty.
I don't. Okay. I don't think she a dude, but it's just like she's a very private woman, and I was just like,
Have y'all
not
talked
3 years.
Have you talked sex talk with her?
Oh yeah, we numerous times we've done it. Yeah, numerous times.
My nigga. Gee, hold on. So she private, but she won't have sex talk with you? I mean, she will have sex talk with you?
Yeah, like what she
You
likes.
sure? You sure she wasn't jerking off the same way you was jerking off?
I wasn't masturbating, my G.
My nigga, yo,
Listen,
man, yo, Doc, listen, dog, listen, man. If you ain't gonna be 100, because we talk 100 here, dog.
yeah, I'm being 100.
You ain't being 100 right now, dog. You ain't being 100 right now. Stop that. How you gonna have sex talk and you wasn't doing your thing, bro?
All right, I wasn't jerking off, but I had my hands in my pants like Al
All right,
Bundy.
now, did she have her hands in her pants jerking off like you?
She was wet. She told me that she was wet.
Dogs, listen, my G. Listen, my man, everything that you're saying to me makes me think she a dude, bro.
I don't think she a dude.
Dogs, you haven't seen a nip. You've been talking to. Listen to me. I've been on this planet for 47 years.
Oh wow, 47. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a young dude, B. I'm not that old. And I understand that if you're talking to a woman for 3 years, and
Two and a half. I would say 2.5.
All right, 2.5, man. Okay, let's say 2. And you're saying she's had no sex, no children, but y'all get off on the phone with each other. And I believe you a damn liar when you say you don't get off too. But it's all good. We're going to get off you and get on her. All right. And you're saying that she hasn't showed you a nip,
no,
but she's going to play with herself on the phone with you?
Or we even text each other. We even text each other sex stuff.
She
And
sent
she'd be
you a
like,
picture?
she's wet.
Not that she sent you a picture?
Oh, I got a couple pictures on my phone.
Yeah, but that might not be her though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we FaceTime each other, and I know it's her because we FaceTime each
How
other.
you mean you know? So she showed you. Okay, listen to me. Did she show you a picture? So she ain't show you a picture of her titties. She sent you pictures of her face.
Just face and everything. Not even, I don't have it. She only sent me one body picture to my phone, but that's it. She never sent me a full body picture. It's only one full body picture of her to my phone. She never showed me a nipple. She never showed me her pussy. Nope.
Listen, this is what I say to you, bro. Figure out what type of person this is. You know what I'm saying? Have a conversation with him. Be like, yo, ma, check this out. This is real suspect for me because we've been kicking it for 2.5 years. I haven't seen a nipple on our FaceTime. I haven't seen, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the bundas, or I haven't seen the cootie cat. I haven't seen none of these things. Has she sent you a full body pic?
One. But it was with her mother, but she cut her mother out of the picture. But she was at a formal affair.
Yo, my G, don't go to Virginia because they probably gonna rape you if you go to Virginia. Don't go to Virginia, my G. Word. Don't go to Virginia. This is what you do. You listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are you gonna do what I tell you, brother?
Okay, yeah.
This is what you do. When you get off the chat with me, you gonna holler at Shorty and say, "What up, Ma? What's going on? How you feeling? I've been thinking about you, Ma.
Yeah.
Check this out. I need to see your titties, man. I need to see your titties. Okay. Let me hear you say that. I need to see your titties.
I need to see your tits. I need to see your titties.
On this live. Don't send me a pic. Don't send me none of that. I need to see your titties. Okay?
Yeah.
And she gonna tell you why. You gonna say, Ma, check this out. I'm being 100 with you. I like. Do you love her?
No, I don't. I ain't at that level yet.
All right. I like you a whole lot, baby. But you know, it's been 2.5 years. Have you slept with any woman in that 2.5 years?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, you ain't gonna tell her that. It's been 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? And I need to see what it is. I need to see your titties, ma. Why? Because there's a lot of niggas out here running around like dudes. Be 100.
Listen, I've been asking her for titty pics, pussy pics. I've been asking, and she refused.
But she'll talk sex with you.
Yes, this I'll even be honest with you. I even sent her a chest pic of what my chest looked like, and she,
Yo, my G. Yo, B.
yo,
Yo, dogs. Who sends chest pics of themselves to a chick? It's
oh,
usually penis pics, bro. You sent the chest pic.
I sent her one penis pic, but I think she deleted it. I sent her one penis pic, but she
Dogs.
deleted it.
All right, brother. All right. Listen to me, man. Don't go to Virginia. You did good not renting a car and going to Virginia. What you need to do is FaceTime her and have her show you a nip. You need to have her face. You want to FaceTime her now with me on the phone? Can you do that?
Nah, she's probably at bed right now.
She probably in bed. My 1101. Listen, what I'm saying to you, brother, you got an issue. You have a major problem. A major problem. The major problem is there's something wrong. And all jokes aside, there's something wrong where she's not being 100 with you. She's not being 100 with you. And in this day and age, with this espionage that goes on, with everything going on in this world, you need to be 100%. You need to. And there's nothing wrong. If she gets offended by it, what I would do is I would be totally candid with her and just say, listen, check this out. It's been 2.5 years. You and I are talking. I watched that television show Catfish, and I see a lot of cats that are catfished. I'm not saying you're catfishing me. What I am saying is I want to make sure that I'm not being catfished. Now, this might offend you. It is what it is. You could potentially be the woman of my dreams. You could potentially be the woman of my dreams. I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
And I think by you being 100% honest, if it's a dude, he's going to tell you why he can't show you no nip pic, or he can't show you his nipples. He's going to backtrack. If it's a shorty, she can only understand that. Only understand. What woman wouldn't understand a man's wanting to be physical? What woman wouldn't understand that? It's been damn near 2.5 years. I haven't slept with nobody, and I don't know if you are what you say you are. I need some type of visual in my mind. Or if you want to be sexy about it, say, Ma, listen, when I'm by myself, you know what I'm saying, and I'm thinking about you, I want something visual. I want something that I can tangibly see in my mind, in my mind's eye. And you get close to that mic and you give your Barry White voice, baby, you know what I'm saying? I need something in my mind to think about you. And you say to her, shorty, I need to see your nipple.
Listen, I tried that. I even tried doing phone sex with her. We only did it one time on phone sex. You don't know how many times I tried.
Oh my G,
I will
so
say
you telling
this.
me in the 2.5 years that you've talked to her, you only had sex talk one time?
No, not sex talk, like phone sex one time.
All right, phone sex. That's what I'm saying. Phone sex one time.
Yeah, but we've talked about sex. We talk what we like, what we would do to each other. I mean, trust me. I've been going in, but she's been so reluctant. Okay, one time I will say this. I FaceTime her one time. It was late at night, and she was in bed laying down. And I said, "Show me a nipple." She did, but she showed it quick. She didn't really like just show me. She just showed quick, then cover it up quick. And I kept begging to her to show me. But I showed you already. I said that was quick. That was too fast. I never got a pussy picture. I never got a booty picture.
Listen, man. This is what I'm going to say to you, brother.
Please.
You have to listen, as men, and this is real talk. As men, you have to be more assertive in what you want. You have to be more forthright with what you want. Like Beverly said, it sounds like you being catfished. It does. But you need to be more demanding, not in a way where it's condescending or it's offensive, but you need to be more demanding in what you want and what you're not going to tolerate. Because what you do in the beginning of a relationship is what sets the tone. It's what sets the tone for the relationship. So when you say to her, check this out, it's been 2 years or 2.5 years, and it's 2.5 years of my time that I don't want to waste. I'm 37 years old. I want to
Stable.
I want to be stable. I want a woman that I can call my own. I have one child, and you give your spiel and you say what it is. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if you're a dude or not. I don't know, because there's a lot of dudes out there, bro. Dude, there's a lot of dudes out there that will fool you. There's a lot of chicks. Do you see half these chicks that be having makeup on?
Yeah.
You ever seen the Thundercats?
No.
You never watched the Thundercats?
Oh, that cartoon, something like that.
The cartoon of the Thundercats, my G.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
You remember the Thundercats, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Mumra?
No.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Mumra. Mumra from the Thundercats, my G. There's some chicks that look like Mumra. There's some chicks that look like Mumra, and they have makeup, okay? And the makeup messes you up. It messes you up totally, because you don't know what you're looking at. You have no clue of what you're dealing with, and you think. Can you see that picture?
Yeah.
That's what these chicks be looking like, son, without no makeup. They look like Mumra. That's before he turns into Mumra.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm saying to you that you got to figure out what's going on. You gotta listen, Ma. This is what it is. So, you have to search well to your goings, bro. You have to make sure that you're not setting yourself up to fail. You have to, because you're being 100 with her. Have you sent her? So you sent her a penis pic. When you video with her, have you shown your joint?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had my hand in my pants. Oh yes, I have.
So you showed her your joint.
Yes.
How many times have you showed her your joint?
Twice.
Yo, my G, you just told me you spoke to her one time. Sex talk one time.
No. We sex talk a couple times, but as far as like,
but you said you phone sex. You said you phone sex one time. So how you? So the second time you called her FaceTime and showed her your penis?
I showed her my penis a couple times when we FaceTime each other. Couple times.
And what's her response to you?
She's like, whoa, okay. She gets excited. But then I'll be asking her to return the favor, and she doesn't do it. She's
are you being real, brother? Or are you trolling me right now, brother?
No, I'm being honest with you.
All right. So, brother, listen, like I said, just let her know how you feel, man.
I've been doing it.
Well, then, brother, you need to find yourself a woman in Atlanta. All right, you need to find yourself a woman in Atlanta. If you are conversing with her and you're telling her how you feel, and you're saying to her that I need to make sure that what I'm getting into is something that I want to be in for the rest of my life.
I've been wanting visuals, but she was like, wait till she comes. And I was like, damn, I wish you could see what she looked like. I wish you could see her picture.
My G, listen, we've had conversations, and some of the stuff that you're kicking, right?
Yeah.
It's shaky. Shaky at best. What I'm saying to you is, here at Bolo TV, we keep it 100. That's why they want to see you. Yeah. That's why.
And I'm being honest.
All right, I got you. Cool. One, you said you've had sex talk. When I say sex talk, you've had phone sex with her once.
Yeah.
Okay. But multiple times you show her your penis pic or your penis.
Yes.
I don't know how that goes down where you just show her your penis when you're talking. So y'all could be talking about God, and when she looks up, she see your penis.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it happens? You FaceTime talking about God, and she see your dick?
Nah, we talking about sex talk when we FaceTime it, and it's just I'm trying to like be aggressive. I'm trying to be forthcoming.
Dogs, you listen to me. I'm having a conversation with you right now. If this is how you're aggressive with her, then you're gonna have a problem if she comes to the A. you're gonna have a problem
How?
because you're far from aggressive. You're far from it. And if you're telling a woman that you've been with or that you've been talking to for 2.5 years that you want to see a nip and she's giving you a problem with seeing a nipple, you got a problem. You have a problem. Period.
And what's the okay?
You have a problem. I don't know what's wrong on her end. If she can have sex talk with you, phone sex with you, and all this stuff, and you can't show her, and she can't show you a nipple, you
Yeah.
being catfish, bro. You being catfished. That's what they do.
Wow.
That's what they do, bro. These chicks or these dudes that be on these chat rooms are definitely no joke.
I met her on OkCupid.com.
And I don't care if you met her from Jesus. The hell you mean you met her from OkCupid? What does that mean?
Okay, I'm just.
No, but I'm saying, what does it mean? She
Don't
made
really
a
mean much.
She made a
Yeah.
profile. That's what she did. She
Well,
made a
you know, it's
profile.
funny you say that. It's crazy because when we started talking in October 2017, on the website, she said she lived in Atlanta, and I'm thinking that she lived in Atlanta, but then she was like, "Oh, I'm be honest with you, I don't live in Atlanta. I live in Virginia."
So did you ask her why she said that?
Because yes, I did, and she said that if she had put her zip code in, it was nothing but white hillbillies that would have came up.
Yo,
That's why she put Atlanta, because she wanted to meet
listen,
black men.
all right, Milano. This is
Yes.
what I'm going to say to you, dog, is either you tell her you want a nip pick or you want to see her nipples while you talking to her.
Yeah.
Live. If she don't show you her nipples, find yourself a chick in Atlanta and make sure it's a chick. I would suggest you deal with like a 3-month-old, a 3-month pregnant chick in Atlanta to make sure it's not a dude. That's what I would do. Okay.
Mhm.
That would be my direct approach. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And make sure she don't send you no nip pic. FaceTime her and say, I want to see your nipples. FaceTime her. Okay.
Yeah.
And make sure, I'm telling you, and that don't even mean nothing because it could be a dude with breast implants. There's so many different variables to this situation. So when you say she sounds like a chick, it ain't hard to sound like a chick. There's machines that can make you sound like a chick. Hello, how you doing, Milano? My name is Bolo. See, I sound like a chick. It's not hard to sound like a chick. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have her say, yo, ma, show me your nipples, or I'm not gonna deal with you. Simple as that, man. You got a son or a child. What do you have, a girl or a boy?
I have a son.
You have a son, man. You got no time to deal with this nonsense, bro. You have no time for it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be 30, you're 37, you're gonna be 38.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta move on. You gotta move on. So find yourself a chick in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, or Georgia, whatever part of Atlanta you're in, you know, and deal with it from there, bro. For real. You know, but what it sounds like, let me say this. You need to be more decisive on what you want. Because you need to understand, Milano, you without being offensive.
Say it.
All right. You don't come on strong, my G. You don't. At all. So for you to be dealing with the woman for this amount of time and you ask her for something, but yet she can talk to you phone sex and do all these things, but she won't show you what you're asking her for. You know, a woman may not want to show you her cootie cat. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, I got that. But at least you can show me some nip. And if she's giving you all this problem about showing you nip, then dog, you need
nipple.
to move on.
Yeah, she showed me a quick nipple when I FaceTimed her, like a quick nipple.
Right. So you need to move on. And I think, you know, maybe the reason why these chicks are ghosting you is because you sound very indecisive. You know, you need to have a destination and a direction. These women like men that are assertive, not to the point where you're disrespectful, but they want a man that's assertive, decisive, and they know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. So when you come not knowing and come, for lack of a better word, weak, they're gonna have an issue. They're not gonna want a dude like you. You know what they're gonna do? They'll be like, he's good enough to support me, but I'm gonna have me a thug on the side. That's what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take no stuff from a woman, but not be disrespectful. Don't be an idiot, but don't let them run over you. It sounds
Yeah,
like let me ask you a question. When you went out with these chicks, who paid for the food?
I did.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And
Okay.
I bet you they ordered some crazy stuff.
No, they didn't. I didn't only like the 2 dates. I only went out. They didn't order nothing crazy. I just went out to the movies. Then I went bowling, and then I went to this place. But we didn't go overboard. Nah, it wasn't like that.
How much you spent on a date?
It depends. It could be like maybe 50 to 60 something dollars. That's it.
All right, okay. All right. Well, listen, that's what I'm saying to you, man. As much as these women tell you that they want to be independent and want to and all that, I think they mean that they don't want to be looked at as someone that can't survive if they needed to be on their own. And I do believe that women can survive if they need to, if they're on their own.
Yes.
But inherently, men need women and women need men. So
Yes.
what I'm saying to you is in this is that you need to get yourself together.
That's what I'm doing, working on right now.
Yeah. So, leave the catfish alone. If she can't show you nip, my G, why don't you get her to come on the show right now? Can you do that? Can you text her?
Let me see. Let me text her right now.
My G, can you text?
Yeah, I'm texting her right now.
All right.
Okay. All right, just text her. Just text her. But I'm just,
All right. Well, yeah. So, like I was saying, bro. So, you just got to get your act together, man.
that's
Once
what
you
I'm working on right now.
once you get
That's
your once you get your act together, you know what I'm saying. Once you do that, you'll understand. But I think that you know with this situation that you're in at this point right now, I think that you need to be more assertive and understand, that you need to be more assertive in your situation because you're
Mhm.
not. You're not totally. And a lot of the times when women see that and they see that you're not, it's just gonna, it's just gonna be the way it is. It's just gonna be
Yeah.
where they they're breaking out. So let me ask you a question: how are you meeting these chicks?
On websites mostly right now, because
You better be careful you don't get kidnapped by one of these two.
it was crazy. That's how I met my son's mom.
Dude, what is it with you and websites, baby? You don't want to go out there? What, you have a problem with talking to a chick, like approaching a woman?
No, not at all. No, I've been doing
There's
that
nothing.
too.
Listen, brother, there's nothing wrong with it. Some people are just not, they're just not like that. But what I'm
When
saying to you is, you've met all these chicks from dating sites.
no, some of them I met from dating sites, but some of them I met out there at Starbucks and everything.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
listen. This is what I'm gonna say. You
yeah,
can my email is bolotv16@gmail.com.
yeah,
bolotv16@gmail.com. If you want a consultation or whatever, email me and we'll kick it, a lot
yeah,
longer and we'll kick it where we can get a little bit more personal because I don't want you
yeah,
putting your personal business out on the YouTube streets. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
Mhm.
like I said, my advice to you on that is
Be careful.
be careful with who you talking to because a lot of people play games on these websites.
Yeah.
And if you've been with a woman or you've been talking to this woman for 2.5 years, it sounds like you two have a good rapport. If she can't show you a nip or something while you're having a conversation with her live, I would say that's a problem. You could be being catfished at this point.
Hmm.
So what I would do
And
is
I will say this. Let me keep it 100. Couple times she has badgering me about. She badgered me about how she's sick and tired of being alone. She's 39. She's gonna be 40. She don't have any kids. She can't get men to talk to her. I even asked her. I said, "Have you talked to a therapist? What about your mother?" She said they don't understand why she's single. She has a bachelor's degree in human resources. She's smart, so she don't understand why she can't get a man to talk to her. But her sister don't have a problem with that in that department, but she can.
like I said, brother, you know, you need to cut the nonsense and just deal with her and tell her straight up, this is what I'm thinking. It's 2.5 years. I need to see some nip. That's what I need to see. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So with that, my man Milano,
All right.
you got my website, brother. You got my email. Hit me up if you
Yep.
need any more advice.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for coming on, my brother.
All right. No problem, man.
No problem. All right, everybody. It's been a long night. It's been 3 hours. Didn't think I was gonna stay on that long. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Drizzle, Beverly, Sha, Aura, Naja, Saint for coming on. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to thank everybody, Zay, uh, everybody out there that's listening. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for making me a part of your night. I hope the last 45 minutes was more entertaining than it was educational. But so how do we end it? We end it with, for those of you that are at the point where you're thinking about taking your life, please don't. There are resources out there to help you. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. There are 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, a year, that they will listen to you, hear you, talk to you. Thank you, Tasha, for coming too. They will converse with you and try to get you at a better mental, so that you're not hurting yourself, so that they will hear you. For those of you that need a therapist and may not have the money to pay for one, the National Helpline, what they do is they will work with you and point you into the right direction to get help. They work with universities where they are training psychiatrists and psychologists and therapists, and being that they're students, they will talk to you for free and they will gain the experience. So please call them and talk to them. Their number is 1-800-662-4357. Again, 1-800-662-4357. They are 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And for you children or young adults that do not have a good example, man or woman, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. Again, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. There is a club in your neighborhood, in your region of America, and they will help you. They will set you up. For those of you that have military family, your husband is fallen or your wife is fallen, thank you for your service. There is Tuesday's Children. They work specifically with military families. They are called Tuesday's Children. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for attending. I'd like to set up a prayer for you guys. Lord God, I ask you, please protect all those that can hear my voice. Please give them knowledge, wisdom, but most of all, understanding of your word. Let them please understand that there is someone out there that loves them, Please let them realize that their life is important, that they do not have to take their life. We ask you, Lord God, to please give them strength to find help. Please put them in a position where someone may see that they need help and offer it to them. Lord God, we ask you to please to keep them strong. Give them light with his darkness. Give them faith with his doubt. Give them strength with his weakness. We ask you, Lord, to please protect these children out here, for they need help. We ask you, Lord God, please give us wisdom, knowledge, but most of all, understanding of knowing what our issues are and getting help. Please. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. So with that, I say thank you for showing up. Thank you for letting me be a part of your night. Thank you all. And please take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.